Ranjan Chaudhary says that he will be meeting and he will be apologizing to the president. That's the last we had heard, although the party says he's already apologized, Niranjan. What about that aspect of... could you touch upon that a little bit more?
Rukma, you go back and check the, check the comment that was made, right? I mean, it appears deliberate. He says it twice, not once. He says it twice. And they want to maybe give the impression that it's an accident. But the first time he was asked that question yesterday, he wasn't willing to apologize. He wasn't ready to apologize. He wasn't willing to apologize. And he said, why should I apologize? That was his first response. And then later, when he came under intense pressure, that is when he decided to sort of, at least say that, okay, I will try and seek time, etc. So that's been the response of the Congress party. With their backs to the wall. Perhaps Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary even said that he would seek time to go and meet her. And he said, if she's offended, he says, if she feels offended, I will apologize to her. I mean, there's a limit to it. If you're really apologetic, you should have apologized in public.
Right.
Yes, and apologized in public. And that's where it stands.
Right. Many thanks, Niranjan, for joining us there and for that perspective. And it's time now for a short break. We are talking about how Smriti Irani and Home Minister Amit Shah have met the president. This comes in the backdrop of the escalating tensions between the Congress and the BJP over the latter's remarks and subsequent refusal to apologize as far as remarks made against the constitutional head of the country are concerned. Moving on now to other news stories. Coming up in a short while, Home Minister Amit Shah meets with President Droupadi Murmu. United States looks at the start of a recession as the economy shrinks again in the second quarter. Moscow court fines the social media giants including Spotify and Tinder for refusing to store users' data domestically. Battle against raging wildfires across Germany and Czech Republic on. Zelensky makes fresh appointments after sacking top ministers from the government.
Wherever you are, whenever you want. Republic live stream with you everywhere. Republic live stream, India's #1 streaming news.
India's Super News Network. Republic Media Network's #1 super feed. #1 across all 3 channels. And it's a big boost for country's defense capabilities. India received the first lot of the 2 US-built MH-60R multi-role helicopters at the Cochin International Airport. The third helicopter is scheduled to be delivered in August this year. Remember, in 2020, India made an agreement with the United States government to procure 24 MH-60R multi-role helicopters.
आग लगी हुई है और आंदोलनकारी इस तरीके से
और कश्मीरी Now viewers, getting you updates from the world of sports. A cricket tournament was organized for differently able players in Jammu and Kashmir's Pulwang, aiming to bolster their confidence as they reach the national and international levels in sport. The organizer of the tournament said that he was ready to organize other activities as well if they wanted to do something else. India held an optional net session on the eve of their opening Group A match against Australia at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, and only 6 players attended the session managed by coach Ramesh Pawar, with an all-rounder Radha Yadav and opener Shefali Verma among the notables at the Moseley Cricket Club.
Wherever you are, whenever the Department of Higher Education and School Education, Government of West Bengal, which has details of who these illegal recruits were.
The enforcement director says that most of these properties have been bought from the proceeds of crime. They suspect that this was the money that was basically being round-tripped.
Papers with the recommendation of candidates, appointment and transfer letters, admit cards, aid Arpita was perhaps in some way trying to push the recommendations. ED team raiding Arpita's flats, and while one of her flats were being raided, came the recovery of wards and mountains of cash.
You're watching Live and Breaking on Republic, and getting you a breaking development now, an update on the OPS-EPS dispute in the AIADMK down south. No relief for O. Selvam currently from the Apex Court. The Supreme Court has refused to stay the July 11 General Assembly's decision to expel O. Selvam from the AIADMK. The decision that was taken by EPS when he was made the single supreme head of the AIADMK. However, the Supreme Court has ordered that the status quo will be maintained in the matter from today till the High Court is heard. The Supreme Court has again sent the matter to the Madras High Court, asking the High Court to decide the matter afresh in 3 weeks. So, new update in the OPS versus EPS battle, which continues despite the fact that O. Selvam has been expelled from the AIADMK. All his positions in the party he was stripped of all positions and expelled just a few days ago. Now, clearly, he's been to the Supreme Court, the Apex Court, sending back the matter to be heard by the Madras High Court again. We are trying to understand what this means. No relief for O. Selvam from the Supreme Court either. Expelled from the party. What does this mean for the veteran AIADMK leader who was once regarded as the heir to AIADMK Supremo Jayalalitha?
Well, the OPS and EPS tussle that's been going on for a long time now has definitely intensified with now Supreme.
At least 80 children were allegedly given the COVID-19 vaccine using a single syringe at a school in Sagar in Madhya Pradesh. Now, the police officials have said that they have received a complaint and the district administration collected the children's blood samples for further investigation. A school teacher was reportedly suspended from her job after a video of her entering a flooded school by climbing over plastic chairs held by students went viral on the social media. In the video, a group of children could be seen walking through water to place.
Britain's Prince Charles met with the Commonwealth Games athletes before the event's opening ceremony, and he greeted and spoke with them at the athletes' village where the competitors are staying during the Games. The German national team trained at their Euro 2022 final team base for the first time ahead of Sunday's match against the hosts England at London's Wembley Stadium. The last time England and Germany met at a Euros final was in Helsinki in 2009, when the Germans won 6-2. FC Barcelona and Sevilla reached an agreement for Chelsea target Jules Koundé, and the French international is scheduled to join Barcelona for a reported 50 million euros.
Wherever you are, whenever you want, Republic live stream with you everywhere. Republic live stream, India's #1 streaming news.
India's Super News Network. Republic Media Network's #1 super feed. #1 across all 3 channels.
And it's a big boost for country's defense capabilities. India received the first lot of the 2 US-built MH-60R multi-role helicopters at the Cochin International Airport. The third helicopter is scheduled to be delivered in August this year. Remember, in 2020, India made an agreement with the United States government to procure 24 MH-60R multi-role helicopters.
United States looks at the start of a recession as the economy shrinks again in the second quarter. Moscow court finds the social media giants include
Big breaking news! It's 15 crores and 3 kg gold bars, viewers, from the same Arpita, the close aide of the TMC minister.
Another gruesome murder in Karnataka. A youth is brutally hacked to death in Bengaluru. Tensions simmer in Mangaluru as another person is killed. Section 144 is imposed until Saturday. Stunning twist in the Bengal cash scam. After mega cash holds, now 4 of Arpita Mukherjee's luxury cars go missing. After shameful sexism, the Congress tries to brazen it out now, defends abuse of power in an even shocking justification. Amidst the Congress's sexual insults, Smriti Irani and Amit Shah meet President Murmu at the Rashtrapatni Bhavan. A day after Sonia Gandhi allegedly lost her cool, the Congress is to hold a strategy meeting in Parliament. Good afternoon and thank you very much for staying with us on Republic TV. You're watching Live and Breaking. I'm Nupur Talwar Sureen. Straight away on to news that's just coming in. We're now learning that amid the uproar of the Congress's insult to the President of India, Home Minister Amit Shah is currently meeting the President, Droupadi Murmu. Those are pictures that are on your screen. They have been tweeted by the Union Home Ministry. This, of course, is the customary meeting that takes place when a new president takes oath in the country. Droupadi Murmu, of course, took oath on the 25th of July. So earlier on, of course, we also had Smriti Irani meeting the president.
नारा लगाने वाले हमारे हिंदुस्तान के सबसे बड़ा मुखिया, वो तो कम से कम आए और अपने गिरवान में झांक कर देखे। लेकिन दादा वो सोनिया गांधी पर कहने का
सरकार की तरफ से कहा जा रहा है कि सोनिया गांधी माफी मांगे। आप कह रहे हैं कि सोनिया गांधी के साथ जो व्यवहार हुआ उसके लिए मंत्री और प्रधानमंत्री माफी मांगे, तो हाउस नहीं चल पा रहा है। ये डेडलॉक कब खत्म हो?
देखिए, ये परंपरा कभी पार्लियामेंट में थी नहीं। ये परंपरा आज सत्ताधारियों ने, भाजपाइयों ने शुरू की है। आज लोकतंत्र की अदालत को बिल्कुल तार-तार किया है। जिस अपमानजनक तरीके से अभद्र व्यवहार एक कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर स्मृति ईरानी का
All right, so those are comments that are coming in from opposition leaders. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, of course, continues to maintain that this was a slip of the tongue, essentially, and we are yet to get a reaction from the Congress President Sonia Gandhi. Now, this, of course, relates to what we saw in Parliament yesterday with ruckus created in both houses of Parliament. There were, of course, very fiery speeches that were also made in Parliament. Smriti Irani as well as Nirmala Sitharaman in the Rajya Sabha had asked the Congress party to come out and apologize for the comment that was made by Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary. Do remember that veteran Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary has had called the President Rashtrapatni, and therefore after that we saw an uproar from the BJP asking for him as well as Mrs. Gandhi to both apologize. But it did not end there. There were unruly scenes in both houses of Parliament thereafter, and they were adjourned. This morning, of course, we are seeing pictures also of various union ministers meeting the President, Droupadi Murmu. Of course, it is customary for union ministers to go and meet the President after a new President is sworn in. Droupadi Murmu was sworn in on the 25th of July. Those have been tweeted by the Rashtrapati's office.
की अनुमति से आज की कार्यसूची में क्रम संख्या 10 पर अंकित दस्तावेज भगवत रूपाजी के नाम के जो आगे अंकित है मैं सभा पटल पर रखता हूँ। 11 डॉक्टर भारती प्रवीण जी।
With your permission, I write here on the table of the House paper mentioned against my name at serial number 11.
Item number 12 श्री मेघवाल जी। धन्यवाद सभापति जी, आपकी अनुमति से क्रम संख्या 12 पर जो विश्वेश्वर टुडू और मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ जल शक्ति के नाम के अंकित दस्तावेज है वो सभा पटल पर रखता हूँ। आइटम नंबर 13 डॉक्टर मुंजुपुरा महेंद्र भाई जी। Honorable Speaker sir, with your kind permission, I wish to lay on the table of the House papers mentioned serial number 13 against my name in today's revised list of business. Thank you. 14 महासचिव महोदय।
Sir, I have to report a message from Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha has elected one member to associate with the committee on the welfare of other backward classes.
Item number 15 श्री अजय टमटा जी।
अनुसूचित जातियों और अनुसूचित जनजाति के कल्याण समिति की 21 अप्रैल 2022 से 26 अप्रैल 2022 तक अगाटी, कोची, कुर्ग और बेंगलोर के अध्ययन दौरे संबंधी प्रतिवेदन की एक प्रति हिंदी और अंग्रेजी संस्करण सभा पटल पर रखता हूं।
वरण महतो जी। आज मैं कार्यसूची क्रम संख्या 16 पर मेरे नाम के समक्ष सूचीबद्ध विभाग संबंधी उद्योग संबंधी संसदीय स्थायी समिति का 317वां प्रतिवेदन एक प्रति सभा पटल पर रखता हूं। धन्यवाद। श्री अंजुम राम मेघवाल जी।
Honorable Chairperson sir, with your permission I want to make a statement regarding the status of implementation of the recommendation observation content in the 315th report of the department-related Parliamentary Standing Committee on Transport, Tourism and Culture on demand for grant 2022-23 pertaining to the Ministry of Culture. Thank you.
Item number 18, Shri Arjun Ram Meghwal ji.
So, Chairperson sir, with your kind permission, on behalf of Shri Bhagwat Kuba, I want to make the following statement regarding the status of implementation of the recommendation observation content in 9th report of the Standing Committee on Chemical and Fertilizer on action taken by the government on the recommendation observation content in the 2nd report of the Committee on Demand for Grant 2019-2022 pertaining to the Department of Chemical and Petrochemical, Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizer. Thank you.
Item number 19, Shri Arjun Ram Meghwal ji.
Thank you, Chairperson sir. I want to make the statement regarding the government business for the week commencing the 1st August 2022.
नियम 377 के अधीन मामले जिनमें माननीय सदस्यों के स्वीकृत हुए हैं वो कृपया सभा पटल पर रख दें। कृपया शांत हो जाइए। कृपया अपनी सीट पर वापस जाइए। कृपया
सदन की कार्रवाई चलने दीजिए। सभा की कार्यवाही सोमवार दिनांक 1 अगस्त 2022 को प्रातः 11 बजे तक के लिए स्थगित की जाती है।
All right, so I think both houses of parliament have been adjourned till 11 o'clock on Monday. We have, of course, we are continuing to see these disruptions in parliament thereafter. Both houses of parliament now being adjourned till Monday, 11 o'clock in the morning. And this, of course, has been the monsoon session's trend, really. There were about 27 bills that were to be approved in this session. However, we've not really seen much business being transacted because of the adjournments as well as the suspensions that we are seeing in parliament. Currently, of course, the controversy that we are seeing in both houses of parliament revolves around the Congress leader Adhir Ranjan making those remarks against the president of the country. The chorus in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha has been for him to apologize. Mrs. Gandhi also, there is a demand from the BJP that she also must apologize. But so far, of course, both leaders are standing their ground. And thereafter, there was some business that was listed to be transacted in both houses of parliament. But Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha both again being adjourned till about Monday. In fact, earlier on, we saw the Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi, in fact, releasing a statement where he also said that the Union Minister must apologize. Now, even as we are continuing to see ruckus in both houses of parliament, we were earlier given to understand that the Congress party will also be holding a meeting in parliament to strategize for the monsoon session of parliament. The Congress party, of course, has been protesting both inside and outside of parliament. We've seen this relay protest that's been going on for about 50 hours now. That's at Vijay Chowk with various MPs who've been suspended, 27 in number to be exact, protesting at Vijay Chowk.
अंतर देखा कांग्रेस और भाजपा में। कांग्रेस के अधीर रंजन चौधरी जी ने मीडिया के सामने अगर उनसे अशब्द बोला गया तो उन्होंने माफ़ी मांगी। वो महामुहिम राष्ट्रपति जी से मिलने के लिए उन्होंने अपॉइंटमेंट की दरखास्त दी ताकि वो क्षमा मांग पाए। पर अंदर ये दो शब्द कहने के लिए भाजपा उनको अवसर ही नहीं दे रही। क्यों नहीं दे रही? क्योंकि भाजपा के टारगेट निशाने पर है श्रीमती सोनिया गांधी जी। पहले ईडी के द्वारा उनको हरास किया गया, अब सदन के अंदर भी अमर्यादित व्यवहार उनके साथ किया जा रहा है ताकि भाजपा के ऊपर जो आला कमान शहंशाह बैठे हुए हैं वो ऐसे प्रकार से व्यवहार से प्रसन्न होते हैं, क्योंकि स्वयं उन्होंने ऐसे घिनौने काफी शब्द सोनिया गांधी जी के प्रति इतिहास में उन्होंने कहा है। तो देश को आज फर्क पता चल गया है कि अधीर रंजन चौधरी कांग्रेस पार्टी राष्ट्रपति के प्रति सम्मान जताते हुए क्षमा मांगते हैं, लेकिन भाजपा आज भी सोनिया गांधी जी के प्रति जो अमानवीय व्यवहार कल हुआ उसके प्रति क्षमा नहीं मांगना चाहती और बस शोषण करना चाहती है विपक्ष का, विशेष रूप से सोनिया गांधी जी का। लेकिन वो भूल चुके हैं कि सोनिया गांधी जी एक निडर नेत्री है, प्रयात इंदिरा गांधी जी की बहू है। भाजपा की ये सारे कोशिश व्यर्थ होंगे, फिजूल होंगे।
तो आप लोग आज के सदन के अंदर अगर ये बात नहीं सरकार की तरफ से मानी जाती है, इसके ऊपर कोई बात नहीं सरकार रोक रखती है?
All right, joining me right now is Aishwarya Kapoor, our executive editor politics. Aishwarya, you know, this monsoon session of parliament doesn't really seem to be transacting any business at all. We've seen a lot of controversies, but the latest one, both the BJP and the Congress party targeting each other.
Well, that's right, and they are active. We have just been told that the upper house has been suspended till the 1st of the next month. So this whole weekend it has been suspended for. So what is happening is that disruption continues, and then discussion is unable to happen in both the houses. The government has tried right from suspension of MPs of 4 Congress MPs in the lower house to 19 MPs of the opposition in the upper house. It has not resulted in the kind of result which the government would have wanted for. But the Congress and the BJP are at it, and to a point to which that the basic functions, the basic bills
which need to be discussed upon, which have been agreed by all opposition parties and the government in the BAC, that is the Business Advisory Committee. Even that work is unable to proceed because the BJP and the Congress are at it both inside the Parliament and outside, and hence, and the latest controversy or the latest issue being the insult being hurled by the Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary to the President of India, Amit, which we are just being told that the Home Minister has met the President of India at Rashtrapatni Bhavan. So all of this is transpiring, but the work of the Parliament is hindering once again.
Now, Aishwarya, how do you see this going forward now? Are we going to see any business at all being transacted in the monsoon session of Parliament? Because, there were about 27 bills that we were hearing need to be laid on, on the table of the House.
Well, what you're trying to get, according to the parliamentary records, that this is going to be the 13th session which is going to see a partial washout, and the 6th session, if this continues, where no work will happen. The government says that the opposition is just not ready to listen. Opposition says that it is because of the government, the exchequer is facing a loss, and that is an immense loss. So it is both government and the opposition to find a solution to.
All right. I think that's a very poor audio connection we have with Aishwarya. We're going to fix that and go back to him in just a bit. But as Aishwarya was pointing out, it is incumbent on both the government and the opposition to come to a conclusion and to be able to proceed with business of both houses of Parliament. There are a lot of bills that need to be worked upon by parliamentarians, but those essentially seem to be taking the back seat. Now, pictures on your screen are of Amit Shah meeting the President as well as Smriti Irani. The newly sworn-in President, of course, was sworn in on the 25th of July, and thereafter it is customary for ministers to go and meet the President. On the left-hand side of your screen, Interim President of the Congress Party. She, of course, was in the Lok Sabha yesterday, and thereafter there was a bit of an argument over there. The BJP says that she needs to apologize to the President. However, the Congress Party maintains that a senior leader and the President of the Congress has been insulted, and that Ms. Irani needs to apologize to her. All right, so that's where matters stand right now. As I was saying, there seems to be a deadlock between the opposition and the government over this issue now. Parallelly, of course, we've been seeing a large number of protests that are taking place outside of Parliament as well. Vijay Chowk, near the Gandhi statue, we've seen relay protests take place for 50 hours now, where the suspended opposition MPs are continuing to sit on a dharna over there. But currently, the BJP and the Congress, of course, locked in a war of words, with each demanding, asking the other to apologize. Now, just to tell our viewers that both houses of Parliament, of course, now stand adjourned, and they are going to be meeting on Monday at 11 o'clock. We have, of course, continuously seen disruptions in both houses of Parliament over the past week over various issues. Yesterday, of course, it was Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary's remark against the President, where he called her Rashtrapatni, which set off a furore in both houses of Parliament, with the government asking the Congress Party to apologize. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, of course, has said that he has sought a meeting with the President and that he will apologize to her. But this, of course, came after he repeatedly said that this was a slip of the tongue. But the BJP, we saw wanting the Congress leader to apologize, and thereafter Smriti Irani and Nirmala Sitharaman, both of them took to the floor of the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha, targeting the Congress Party and asking them to apologize. Well, the ruckus that has been caused in both houses of Parliament, of course, has led to suspensions. It's led to adjournments. Before that, of course, before this particular issue, we saw how the Congress Party as well as other opposition parties had raked up the issue of Sonia Gandhi being questioned by the Enforcement Directorate in the National Herald case. And even at that time, the Parliament was held to ransom. Hardly any business was transacted. And thereafter, of course, there is this issue that has now been brought to the fore in both houses of Parliament. Just to tell our viewers that both houses of Parliament have been adjourned till Monday. All right, so protests are taking place at various parts of the country. I think Abhishek Kapoor also joins us now. Abhishek, we've barely seen any business being transacted in Parliament in this monsoon session of Parliament, and we were expecting perhaps about 27 bills. That's at least that's what the government said it wanted to lay on the table. But none of that has happened so far. Now, what is your assessment? Do we see this dying down, or do you fear that, it will be a washout?
Well, Nupur, I don't see it dying down anytime soon. Remember, BJP has really escalated it up, and we have seen the kind of very combative Smriti Irani took on interim Congress President Sonia Gandhi for effectively what came out as, standing in defense of Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary and his remarks. The Congress party seems to be doubling down, and it's almost become what began as a comment by Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, which compromised the dignity of the office of the president, has turned into a Smriti versus Sonia battle in and outside the parliament. And we have seen how the BJP believes that the insult of the first tribal woman president is something which cannot be allowed till an apology comes. In fact, in the morning, we have seen another comment coming in from Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, almost adding insult to injury. When he was asked about the National Commission of Women's summons to him on Monday, he said, Parliament is on, he's busy, he will see if he gets time. So, a little condescending on NCW also. So, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary really continues with his, conduct which riles some in terms of political optics. So, I don't see it dying down. There has been some transaction of business in Parliament, a couple of bills here and there, but largely the legislative agenda remains unaddressed. And like we have seen many instances earlier, even this monsoon, as you feared, Nupur, could be a washout.
Absolutely. And Abhishek, how do we see this, ruckus, essentially this war of words between the Congress and the BJP now going forward? Because as far as the Congress party is concerned, they're very firm that, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary will only go and apologize to the president. The BJP says that this is a matter where, the president of the country has been demeaned in a manner, so to say, and hence they must come out and issue a public apology.
Well, so there are two parts to it, Nupur. One is, of course, this comment that Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary has made yesterday, a day before, in fact, and the other is that the Congress party is doubling down, and Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary happens to be a repeat offender, almost like a habitual offender in making these off-the-cuff remarks, which he is left to explain, and then the explanation itself becomes convoluted. So, be it him calling ED idiot, be it him claiming that Prime Minister's plane has a swimming pool, because he was trying to defend Rahul Gandhi's Kathmandu party, or be it other comments that he has made. I think BJP has somehow decided that this issue of Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary's pricks here and there, every session, really has to be taken head on now. And it so happens that with the first tribal president of India being the target, and the kind of political capital the BJP really invested in Droupadi Murmu's candidature, they are not going to let go of this in terms of making sure that the Congress party pays for it in terms of, political optics. There is substantive argument also that the manner in which Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary is really grazing in doubt, we don't understand whether the Congress party really appreciates the impact on the dignity of office of the president that might have happened because of the comment he has made. So I think in that sense, as things stand today, Nupur, Parliament stands adjourned till Monday. The House could not be in order, and it's unlikely till the time that some kind of climb down happens from the Congress party. At least a meeting happens with the president. The BJP is not going to back off.
All right, Abhishek Kapoor, our senior executive editor there. Thank you for joining us.
प्रेसिडेंट सोनिया गांधी वो भी एक फीमेल है, उनको इसमें माफी मांगनी चाहिए मुर्मू जी से, और हम इनकी कांग्रेस को हम अपोज करते हैं कि इनकी जो लैंग्वेज है ये हमेशा इंटेंशनली यूज करते हैं।
तो लगातार भाजपा जो है वो विरोध प्रदर्शन कर रही है और ये बात कहना है कि जानबूझकर जो है कांग्रेस की तरफ से ऐसे शब्दों का इस्तेमाल किया गया है। किसी भी तरह का कोई ऐसा बात नहीं है कि जो गलती से हुआ है, बल्कि जानबूझकर जो है वो विरोध प्रदर्शन किया जा रहा है। सरजीवन कुमार के साथ गुरसिमरन सिंह, रिपब्लिक मीडिया नेटवर्क।
All right, we are just getting news that summons have been issued to Congress leaders. Now, this is news that's just coming in. I'm going to try and get more details as to what has happened. But this, of course, I think pertains to the issue of the insult. All right. Well, summons have been issued to Congress leaders. These summons include Jairam Ramesh, Pawan Khera, and this is over the case filed by Smriti Irani. And we are given to understand that Smriti Irani has gone to court over the targeting of her daughter. So it appears that Pawan Khera and Jairam Ramesh have both been issued summons. Now this is in the case of Smriti Irani's daughter being dragged into what Smriti Irani says was false information. So the Delhi High Court, we understand, has issued summons to Pawan Khera as well as to Jairam Ramesh. Delhi High Court, of course, has issued these summons in response to the case that has been filed by the Union Minister Smriti Irani. I'm going to try and go across to our correspondents to get us more details, but just to tell our viewers about the case. In fact, this is an allegation that was laid against Smriti Irani's daughter. In fact, Niranjan is also with me on the phone line. Niranjan, give us more details of what we are learning about this.
Well, this is regarding the allegations that the Congress leaders had made regarding the daughter of Smriti Irani. Recently, they held a news conference making some allegations against Smriti Irani's daughter, to which Smriti Irani, gave it back. She dragged them to court. And these are details that are coming in right now, that the Delhi High Court has now summoned Jairam Ramesh, Pawan Khera and Netta D'Souza in the civil suit filed by Union Minister Smriti Irani. And this is over the allegations that they have made regarding the daughter of Smriti Irani. And they had made a few allegations saying that she runs a bar, and then she had applied for some notice illegally, etc. So this is over the allegations against Smriti's daughter. Smriti Irani had gone to court, and these are breaking news updates now coming in that the court has now summoned these leaders in response in this particular case. Now, Smriti had called it defamatory. Smriti had said that this is an attempt to target her daughter and to try and defame her, and we had accessed the legal notice that Smriti Irani had sent as well. The legal notice that was sent by the firm representing Smriti Irani, which went on record to say that these were generally allegations of a defamatory nature. Pawan Khera, Jairam Ramesh, and I think Netta D'Souza were the three leaders who held that news conference. That's why they were named in the legal notice that was issued. So they've been called by the court, and we should be getting in some first reactions to this.
Right.
But I think essentially, Napur, this is a case of student scoot is what the BJP believes.
Right.
Based on some unfounded charges.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Niranjan, for joining us. Niranjan is pointing out the Congress spokesperson Pawan Khera had in a media conference said that Irani's daughter was allegedly running a restaurant in Goa in which a bar was functioning with a fake license. So we'll get you more on that in just a bit.
And it's a big boost for country's defense capabilities. India received the first lot of the 2 US-built MH-60R multi-role helicopters at the Cochin International Airport. The third helicopter is scheduled to be delivered in August this year. Remember, in 2020, India made an agreement with the United States government to procure 24 MH-60R multi-role helicopters.
आग लगी हुई है और आंदोलनकारी इस तरीके से
और कश्मीरी
World of Sports, a cricket tournament was organized for differently abled players in Jammu and Kashmir's Pulwang, aiming to bolster their confidence as they reach the national and international levels in sport. The organizer of the tournament said that he was ready to organize other activities as well if they wanted to do something else. India held an optional net session on the eve of their opening Group A match against Australia at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, and only 6 players attended the session managed by coach Ramesh Pawar, with an all-rounder Radha Yadav and opener Shefali Verma among the notables at the Musley Cricket Club.
Wherever you are, whenever you want, Republic Live Stream with you everywhere. Republic Live Stream, India's #1 streaming news.
At least 30 children were allegedly given the COVID-19 vaccine using a single syringe at a school in Sagar in Madhya Pradesh. Now, the police officials have said that they have received a complaint and the district administration collected the children's blood samples for further investigation.
And you're watching Live and Breaking on Republic. I'm Rukma, and well, in our top story, after shameful sexism, the Congress now tries to brazen it out, defending abuse of power in an even more shocking justification. And going across to latest visuals coming in on the Bengal cash for jobs scam, the SSC recruitment scam. Earlier, we had been telling you about how Partha and Arpita had left the ED office after a round of questioning. They were both being taken to hospital. But now these visuals tell us that, Arpita, we believe, as our reporter is saying, has had a minor accident. And, we are trying to get to know the extent of her injuries, if there are any. And Piyush Ori now joining us. Piyush, after those explosive revelations, Partha and Arpita leaving the ED office, we are now getting visuals of a sort of commotion there. What's happening?
So yes, as you know, you could see in the visuals that Arpita Mukherjee and Partha Chatterjee have reached ESI hospital at Joka. And now it is going to be interesting to know that how and what are their medical examinations going to come out. Mind you, these medical examinations are very important, as Partha Chatterjee, who is being interrogated by Enforcement Directorate for his alleged role in the recruitment scam, said that, he should be given a bail on the condition of medical grounds. However, this was denied by the court, and now he is being under custody. But it was mentioned very categorically that, there should be medical examinations that should be done for Partha Chatterjee. Now, in this process only, complying by this process, Partha Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee have been taken to ESI hospital, where the medical examination is going to be taking place. But, this case has seen a lot of drama, and the drama follows even as, they were taken to the medical hospital at ESI, where we are told that, Arpita Mukherjee has met with a minor accident. We are told that, it's not a serious accident, she's a minor injury. But as I said, that, this incident, this scam has seen a lot of drama, and this drama follows even after they have been taken for the medical examination at ESI hospital at Joka. Back to you in the studio.
Right, Piyush. Well, after those details emerging of that staggering cash stash, Arpita Mukherjee now reporting a minor fall. And when we talk about the extent of her injuries, when did this happen and how, Piyush? Are there any details available?
We do not have the detail of why and when this accident really happened, but it was. We were told that this accident happened when she was being taken to the hospital to the hospital for questioning. Having said that, we are not being given much detail about what is the injury she has received as of now. But yes, as you said, that there is a lot of drama which has been following ever since this incident has happened, and this drama follows after we've been told that she has followed this injury. Having said that, things cannot be denied that there is a staggering amount of cash that has continued to be received by the ED officials from the interrogation which they have done at the residence of Arpita Mukherjee. And now the situation has become even more difficult for Arpita Mukherjee, taking into consideration that 4 of the cars which belongs to Arpita Mukherjee has gone missing. It is believed that, if the Enforcement Directorate is going to find this car, it is going to lead them to find out more details, more damning details, resulting in indictment of Partha Chatterjee and Arpita
Mukherjee in this recruitment scam, in which they already are on the back foot as of now. Back to you in the studio.
Right. And when we look at the haul that the ED has been able to pull up so far, well, 4 cars missing, 4 luxury cars missing, 10 flats, if not more, in posh Kolkata high-rises. It appears that, and the crores of heaps of cash that was recovered, that is being recovered almost on a daily basis. Now, 2 of the premises that belong to her have already unearthed these huge heaps of cash. What else? What is the ED? What would be the ED's next step now? Are they continuing their interrogation? Because Arpita says that we are receiving reports from other media outlets that Arpita reported sick after that ED questioning this morning.
When, as you rightly said, when you receive over 50 lakh of 2,000 notes and 20 lakh of 500 notes, it is definitely, something which makes everyone who look into these cash hoards, quite surprised, quite shocked. And this is what has been happening from the interrogation which the enforcement officials have been doing of Arpita Mukherjee's residence. Now, as I, with taking into consideration of, how backward, how in the back foot have Partha Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee have now really gone down because of this interrogation raid. There are chances that the Enforcement Directorate officials are going to involve more people who may be involved in the scam. I'm right now reporting from the Enforcement Directorate office, and we are told over here that the officer of special duty of Partha Chatterjee, Shukanto Acharya, may also be asked to come over here at the Enforcement Directorate office for questioning. And there are more officials, there are more ministers that are being asked to come to the Enforcement Directorate for questioning. Now, when these things are happening, definitely, the ministers who are being alleged of this corruption may say that, they are feeling sick. They may say that, they may not be available for questioning. And this is what is being happening in case of Partha Mukherjee and now in case of Arpita Mukherjee. Back to you in the studio.
Piyush, can we say that these are just attempts to, kind of stall further interrogation? Because right now, as you rightly said, both of them are on the back foot, particularly Partha Chatterjee. Clearly, the TMC also, from the very beginning, already distancing itself, but now clearly abandoning him. Mamata Banerjee, once who used to regard him as a very close aide, now throwing him out of the party as well as from all positions in the government.
You mentioned a very important point of how TMC is now distancing itself from Partha Chatterjee. Mind you, Partha Chatterjee has been associated with Mamata Banerjee for more than 40 years. So it would have been a very difficult decision for Mamata Banerjee to distance herself. But now, taking into consideration of the staggering amount of cash that has been received from this recruitment scam, Mamata Banerjee had no choice but to sack him from all the cabinet berths of TMC. Yesterday, Abhishek Banerjee, another, veteran leader of TMC, held a press conference, and he did say very categorically that the circumstantial evidence that are being found against Partha Mukherjee and his associate Arpita Mukherjee
is going against them, and now the onus is on them. Now the onus is only on Partho Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee to make themselves innocent, and TMC is not going to be there for there to defend them. So you can understand, that how TMC now understands that, if they are going to defend Partho Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee in this case, it may lead to them also suffering politically. So yes, the TMC is distancing itself and understanding that, Partho Chatterjee as well as Arpita Mukherjee are on back foot. There are being attempts that are being made to stall this investigation. Mind you, Partho Chatterjee to begin with said that, he was ill, he was physically ill and he could not be available for questioning. He did go to the state-run hospitals for his medical examination, leading enforcement directorate officials to say that Partho Chatterjee, rather than being medically examined in state-run hospitals, should be taken to central-run hospitals, because this was an attempt by Partho Chatterjee to stall the investigation, to delay the case which has been in which he has been allegedly involved for massive corruption. So yes, there are attempts by Partho Chatterjee and now even Arpita Mukherjee to some extent for stalling the investigation. But as the investigation goes, it is not really making their life easier. Back to you in the studio.
Right. Well, troubles continue to mount for Arpita Mukherjee and Partho Chatterjee. Partho Chatterjee removed from all government as well as party positions. Once regarded as being very close to Mamata Banerjee, now the Bengal Chief Minister has also, it appears, abandoned him. And well, when we look at the ED's investigation, how far can we say that matters have progressed? One round of interrogation was held this morning. Now they've gone for a medical Piyush. What are you hearing? What's next?
Well, the enforcement directorate officials have succeeded now in establishing the proceeds of crime by, by raiding several of the houses of Arpita Mukherjee, in which they have been successful in finding hoards of cash. Mind you, 50 lakh of 2,000 notes and 20 lakh of 500 notes. It is staggering. So you can understand the amount of, corruption, which was amount of, money that was, hoarded, and the enormity of corruption that is involved in this entire recruitment scam. Now, the ED officials, as I said, they have been successful in establishing the proceeds of crime. Now, the main challenge for these ED officials would be to establish the sources of the income. And for this, the ED officials now are interrogating not only Partho Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee more intensively, more aggressively, but also their closest aides. We are being told that OSD of Partho Chatterjee, Shukanto Acharya, may today be coming to Enforcement Directorate for questioning. And besides this, another TMC leader, Monik Bhattacharya, has also been asked for questioning. Our teams are there at their houses, and we are trying to establish we are tracking their movement. And whenever they come to Enforcement Directorate office, we are going to keep you updated of all their movements. But as I said again, that now the basic challenge of Enforcement Directorate official is to establish the sources of the income and also widen the scope of this investigation beyond Partho Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee, for which they are now interrogating several other top leaders of TMC and close aides of Partho Chatterjee. The beginning of which is going to start with Shukanto Acharya, who was the officer of special duty for Partho Chatterjee. Back to you in the studio.
Well, Piyush, stay with us. We'll be right back with you. But joining us is Kishle from Republic Bangla. Kishle, we are hearing reports that Arpita is breaking down. It's not the first time this has happened. It's happened before as well. It appears she fell down, suffered minor injuries. We do not know the details of those injuries. But right now, could you put this and this entire case as it has happened into some kind of perspective, especially the events of today? More cash recovered, staggering amounts of cash Arpita Mukherjee apparently kept in her home, and also 4 luxury cars, in addition to many flats in posh Kolkata high-rises.
Well, exactly, as you rightly put, that the huge amount of cash that was recovered from Orpita Mukherjee's flat. Last day it was about more than the first time, 22 crores first time, 28 crores second time, and the amount of gold and the cars that you were talking about. All that was recovered. Also, 3 bank accounts of Orpita Mukherjee has been seized by ED, which we broke earlier, and about 2 crore 20 lakh rupees in those bank accounts as well. But what we saw today was that Orpita Mukherjee and Partho Chatterjee was taken out of the ED office, CGO complex, central government office in Salt Lake City in Kolkata, and they were taken to ESI hospital in Joka. And all that way we followed Orpita Mukherjee's car, Partho Chatterjee's car, and when they reached there, we saw those dramatic visuals where Orpita Mukherjee almost fainted when she was coming out of the car. She was clearly weeping. She was trying to wipe her tears, wipe her face, and when she tried to step out of the car, she clearly fainted. Questions are arising whether her health condition is right. Right now she is going inside the hospital. She is inside the hospital and her health checkup will go on. Doctors will check her and everything will be done accordingly. But whether this is because of the extreme mental pressure that is going through her, because of all this amount of cash that you just mentioned has been recovered from her different flats, or whether because of the repeated interrogations that's happening, we do not know. But what we saw is a dramatic visual of Orpita Mukherjee clearly fainting, falling on the ground when she was trying to come out of her car and when she was trying to enter the ESI hospital. Later on, Partho Chatterjee, when he was going inside ESI hospital, he pulled down his mask and he said, "I am a victim of a conspiracy." It's a breaking news that Partho Chatterjee for the first time said this after he was removed from all his posts in Trinamool Congress yesterday, all 5 posts of Trinamool Congress, and he was
इस प्रकार से इतना भारी भरकम भ्रष्टाचार किया गया, और वो भी किसके साथ? युवाओं के साथ जो रोजगार का अवसर खोज रहे थे, टीचर बनना चाह रहे थे, मतलब कि टीचर्स के साथ भी, और जो शिक्षा लेने वाले स्टूडेंट्स है, बोथ द टीचर्स एंड दोज हु आर टॉट, इनके साथ स्कैम किया गया. और जब एक के बाद एक सबूत सामने आते गए, कैलकाटा हाई कोर्ट के डिवीजन बेंच का तो ऑर्डर था ही, उस पर कोई कार्रवाई नहीं की गई, परंतु जब एक के बाद एक सबूत सामने आते गए, द माउंटेन ऑफ कैश ऐसे बढ़ता गया, तब जाकर मीडिया के और विपक्ष के दबाव में, मतलब भारतीय जनता पार्टी जो इस पूरे मुद्दे को लेकर बहुत मुखर है बंगाल में खासकर, दबाव में आकर ममता बनर्जी ने अपने नंबर 2 को, मतलब पार्था चैटर्जी को आखिरकार हटाने का काम किया. फाइनली शी टुक द डिसीजन टू टेक हर नंबर 2 इन गवर्नमेंट out of government after the mountain of cash and corruption kept piling up day in and day out. अब हो सकता है कि कुछ लोग इस मजबूरी को भी मजबूती के तौर पर पेश करना चाहते हो. Some people are making a virtue out of this necessity that she was forced to make her minister resign, her number 2 resign. Questions will still be asked that why hasn't Mamata Banerjee acted upon Mr. Adhikari, whose daughter's appointment and her application as a teacher had been cancelled by the Calcutta High Court. She has not taken action against Mr. Adhikari. And the very fact is that there is institutionalization of corruption and corruption of every institution in the TMC, too much corruption run government of West Bengal. But for whatever it is worth, Mamata Banerjee and the TMC, which I call as the second musketeer of corruption, has got rid of their number 2 after much pressure. But today I want to talk about the third musketeer of corruption. आज मैं आपसे ये जो तीसरा musketeer है corruption का, उसकी बात करूंगा, और उसका नाम है आम आदमी पार्टी. आम आदमी पार्टी जो तीसरा मस्केटियर ऑफ करप्शन है, और तीनों मस्केटियर्स में एक समानता आप देखिए कि तीनों ही भरपूर भ्रष्टाचार करते हैं, फिर किस प्रकार से विक्टिम कार्ड खेलते हैं, सारी संस्थाओं पर दोष डालने का काम करते हैं और अपने पाप को छिपाने का कुत्सित प्रयास करते हैं। और आज मैं आपको तीसरे मस्कटियर मतलब आम आदमी पार्टी की कहानी सुनाऊंगा, क्योंकि कुछ दिन पहले आपको याद होगा कि ये थर्ड मस्कटियर ऑफ करप्शन आम आदमी पार्टी के नेता अरविंद केजरीवाल टेलीविजन स्क्रीन पर आए थे। वैसे वो टेलीविजन स्क्रीन में ही आते हैं ज्यादा, विज्ञापन के माध्यम से आए थे शायद, मुझे लगता है। और आकर उन्होंने कहा, मैंने सत्येंद्र जैन की सारी फाइलें देख ली हैं जी, कट्टर ईमानदार है जी, ये उन्होंने आकर कहा। परंतु कल 27 तारीख को, परसों, कट्टर ईमानदारी का जिसका सर्टिफिकेट दिया जा रहा था, उसके कट्टर करप्शन और कट्टर क्रिमिनल बैकग्राउंड का एक फाइंडिंग और एक मुहर लगाने का काम दिल्ली के हाई कोर्ट ने किया है। और मैं आपको पढ़कर सुनाऊंगा दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट की डबल बेंच ने किस प्रकार से अरविंद केजरीवाल के दिए गए कट्टर ईमानदारी के सर्टिफिकेट को कूड़ेदान में डालकर यह बताया है कि सत्येंद्र जैन एक कट्टर क्रिमिनल बैकग्राउंड वाला व्यक्ति है। सत्येंद्र जैन एक कट्टर आपराधिक पृष्ठभूमि वाला व्यक्ति है। मैं आपको पढ़कर सुनाऊंगा, यह दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट का फाइंडिंग है और निर्देश है। पैरा नंबर 23, पेज नंबर 15, हाई कोर्ट का ऑर्डर है। It is pertinent to note at this juncture that while it is not for the court to issue directions to the chief minister, जाहिर सी बात है कोर्ट इस मामले में हस्तक्षेप नहीं करता, किसे मंत्री बनाना है नहीं बनाना है, जुरिस्डिक्शन मामले होते हैं वो। It is the duty of this court to remind these key duty holders about their role with regard to uphold the tenets of our constitution. ये हमारा फर्ज है कि हम केजरीवाल जी को याद दिलाए कि संविधान की जो सिद्धांत है और मर्यादा है उसकी संरक्षण के लिए वो कटिबद्ध होने चाहिए। आगे कहता है कोर्ट, The Council of Ministers has a collective responsibility to sustain and uphold the integrity of the Constitution of India, and it is for the Chief Minister to act in the best interest of the state and to consider as to whether a person who has a criminal background or who has been charged with offences involving moral turpitude should be appointed and should be allowed to continue as a minister or not. कोर्ट कह रहा है स्पष्ट तरीके से अरविंद केजरीवाल जी से कि हां, हम किसी का इस्तीफा नहीं ले सकते, परंतु हम आपको याद दिलाना चाहते हैं कि यह आपकी संवैधानिक जिम्मेदारी है कि जिस व्यक्ति की आपराधिक पृष्ठभूमि हो, जिस व्यक्ति को मॉरल टर्पिट्यूड के तहत जिम्मेदार पाया गया हो, ऐसे व्यक्ति को कैबिनेट में स्थान देना, मंत्री पद पर बनाए रखना, यह संविधान की मूल भावना के विपरीत है। आगे कोर्ट कहता है पैरा 24 में, गुड गवर्नेंस इज ओनली इन द हैंड्स ऑफ गुड पीपल। देयर इज अ प्रिजम्पशन दैट द चीफ मिनिस्टर विल बी वेल एडवाइज्ड एंड गाइडेड बाय द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रिंसिपल्स, जो बाबा साहेब आंबेडकर जी के प्रिंसिपल्स है। देखिए, केवल फोटो लगाने से बाबा साहेब आंबेडकर जी की आप आंबेडकर जी के अनुयायी नहीं बनते। उनके सिद्धांतों को कोट किया है कोर्ट ने, और कोर्ट कहता है बाबा साहेब आंबेडकर के शब्दों में, however good a constitution may be, it is sure to turn out bad because those who are called to work on it happen to be a bad lot. ये कोट किया है। बाबा साहेब आंबेडकर के इस बात को कोट करके एक संदेश पहुंचाया गया है कि एक सत्येंद्र जैन की आपराधिक पृष्ठभूमि है, दो उनके ऊपर मॉरल टर्पिट्यूड के एलिगेशंस लगे हैं, तीन वो एक बैड लॉट का हिस्सा है जिसकी खिलाफत बाबा साहेब आंबेडकर जी ने की थी और कहा था कि संविधान चाहे जितना भी अच्छा क्यों ना हो, अगर यह बैड लॉट के हाथ में होगा तो संविधान सही तरीके से इंप्लीमेंट नहीं किया जा सकता। और आखिर में पैरा 25 में कोर्ट क्या कहता है, द कोर्ट होल हार्टेडली अग्रीज विद द ऑब्जर्वेशंस ऑफ डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब आंबेडकर एंड होप्स दैट द चीफ मिनिस्टर upholds the trust reposed in him that forms the foundation of a representative democracy while appointing persons to lead the people. अब अरविंद केजरीवाल जी YouTube पे फ्री वीडियो के माध्यम से या दिल्ली के जनता के गाड़ी कमाई से दिए गए विज्ञापन के माध्यम से या आपके वन ऑन वन प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस के माध्यम से, जरा मुझे यह बताइए कि इस आदेश के बाद स्पष्ट नहीं होता कि केजरीवाल जिसे कट्टर ईमानदार कहते हैं वो तो कट्टर क्रिमिनल बैकग्राउंड वाला व्यक्ति है, वो तो कट्टर हवालेबाज है।
Breaking news coming in now from the Delhi High Court regarding the civil suit that has been filed against Khera by Smriti Irani. Remove all defamatory content in 24 hours, says the Delhi High Court, setting a deadline of 1 day for the removal of all defamatory content in this regard. So swift and sound action from the High Court, very clear directions being given to remove all defamatory materials. This is a directive given to Khera and Company, and the Delhi High Court issuing this. Well, Niranjan joining us now, our senior executive editor. Niranjan, it's over to you to take us through the significance of this Delhi High Court directive setting a 24-hour deadline for Khera and Company to remove all defamatory content.
Well, this is a big setback to the Congress party. It's just come in right now. We just broke some time back that the court had issued summons to Jairam Ramesh, Pawan Khera and Netta D'Souza. And the other big update that we have right now is that the court has asked, I repeat, the court has asked, the Delhi High Court, that is, has asked Congress leaders to remove all defamatory material from social media platforms within 24 hours. And if they fail to do so, the social media companies will do it. So this is a big message, I think, that has gone out to Pawan Khera and Jairam Ramesh, who sort of made these allegations. And it's a big win for them. A big win for them because the court has asked now the Congress leaders to take down that news conference they held when they dragged Smriti's daughter into a controversy, and they asked Smriti Irani to clarify, etc. But later it appeared that they may have got the facts wrong, is what the BJP has claimed, and she went to court, she dragged them to court, and now the court has asked them to take down. The court has directed these Congress leaders to take down all the alleged defamatory material from social media platforms within 24 hours. And they've been given about 24 hours deadline to do it. And if they fail, the social media companies will have to do it. And that's the breaking news update that we have. They will have to do it themselves. We'll take a short break now. We'll take a short break and come back with more breaking news updates.
छोटे तरीके से, बहुत ही कंसाइज तरीके से उन्हें दोहराना चाहता हूं जो सवाल सत्येंद्र जैन पर उठते। मिस्टर केजरीवाल, आर यू डिनाइंग दैट सत्येंद्र जैन
reading allows us to become familiar with ourselves.
We don't read, we won't know what is knowledge.
I just find it very interesting to know people's lives, how they went through certain situations, how they dealt with things.
So wherever you want to go in life, if you read books along those lines, then that would really help you in growing.
Reading could mean a million different things to every individual. What does it mean to you? Visit readindia.info to find out more.
Wherever you are, whenever you want, Republic live stream with you everywhere. Republic live stream, India's #1 streaming news.
India's Super News Network. Republic Media Network's #1 super feed. #1 across all 3 channels.
And it's a big boost for country's defense capabilities. India received the first lot of the two US-built MH-60R multi-role helicopters at the Cochin International Airport. The third helicopter is scheduled to be delivered in August this year. Remember, in 2020, India made an agreement with the United States government to procure 24 MH-60R multi-role helicopters.
आग लगी हुई है और आंदोलनकारी इस तरीके से
और कश्मीरी
Amid the tension between China and the United States with regards to Taiwan, China rejected a US bill to encourage more semiconductor companies to build chip plants in the US. China cited containment of restrictions on China-US cooperation in science and technology. US President Joe Biden and China Xi Jinping spent more than 2 hours talking through the future of their complicated relationship. Chinese Foreign Ministry reportedly warned United States President Joe Biden against playing
We're watching live and breaking on Republic, and as just before we went in for that break, we were telling you how it's a big win for Union Minister Smriti Irani, who had filed a civil suit, as we were telling you earlier, against Jairam Ramesh and Pawan Khera of the Congress for their defamatory remarks against her daughter, saying that, she was running an illegal bar in Goa and without a license. Now the court says remove all defamatory content in 24 hours. It has directed the Congress leaders to remove all allegedly defamatory materials from social media platforms within 24 hours.
के माध्यम से जो बहुत सारी लैंड एक्वायर की गई, उसको बेनामी ट्रांजैक्शन एक्ट 1988 के तहत
Amity University has India's largest scholarship program, from which over 25,000 brilliant students have already benefited. Students with over 95% in Class 12 boards get 100% scholarship, and students with over 90% get 50% scholarship. Join brilliant, like-minded students who want to be successful. Apply at amity.edu/scholarships.
At least 30 children were allegedly given the COVID-19 vaccine using a single syringe at a school in Sagar in Madhya Pradesh. Now, the police officials have said that they have received a complaint and the district administration collected the children's blood samples for further investigation. A school teacher was reportedly suspended from her job after a video of her entering a flooded school by climbing over plastic chairs held by students went viral on the social media. In the video, a group of children could be seen walking through water to place.
Britain's Prince Charles met with the Commonwealth Games athletes before the event's opening ceremony, and he greeted and spoke with them at the athletes' village where the competitors are staying during the Games. The German national team trained at their Euro 2022 final team base for the first time ahead of Sunday's match against the hosts England at London's Wembley Stadium. The last time England and Germany met at a Euros final was in Helsinki in 2009 when the Germans won 6-2. Viewers, we continue to be live and breaking on Republic TV. I am Shivangi Shukla. Right now, let's get in some updates coming in. Justice Mini Pushkarna has further directed the Congress leaders to remove all allegedly defamatory material from social media platforms within 24 hours. If they fail, the social media companies will have to do it on their own. This is the big news coming in right now, viewers, that this is the case regarding Smriti Irani's defamation suit. More news coming in at this point of time.
where in fact this suit was filed by Smriti Irani seeking damages for allegedly making baseless allegations against her and her daughter. Now, what we have learned so far is that the Justice Mini Pushkarna has directed the Congress leaders to remove tweets, retweets, posts, video, photos from social media in relation to the allegations made against Irani. I want to go across to Niranjan. Niranjan, take us to the details. This, like I said, is in fact, Rhythm is joining me on the phone line. Rhythm, this is coming as a big setback, Rhythm. Take us through what this means legally.
Well, let's tell our viewers it's a big blow to Pawan Khera as the court has today slammed him and others for the kinds of language that have used, slanderous allegations they have made against Smriti Irani, who's the union minister. Today, a single judge, Justice Mini Pushkarna of the Delhi High Court, was hearing the matter on the defamation case that has been slapped on these leaders by Smriti Irani, Union Minister. Jairam Ramesh, Pawan Khera, Netaji D'Souza have to now remove the defamatory material from social media where they had stated this. The court, in their interim order, the Delhi High Court says, slanderous allegations were made. Grave injury has been caused to the reputation of Smriti Irani in view of the tweets and the retweets that were carried out due to the press conferences of the defendants. An interim injunction, which is protection, has been given to Smriti Irani, and an injunction means the three Congress leaders have been directed to delete or remove these allegations from all social media platforms. If they refuse to do so or they are unable to do so, then immediately the social media platforms have to ensure within a period of 24 hours that this material is removed. Not only is it a big blow to them, but one needs to understand when the Delhi High Court steps in, Shivani, the kind of language used against Smriti Irani and others, it is the court saying action needs to be taken. A big blow to Congress, big blow to Pawan Khera.
All right. Thank you, Rhythm, for joining us. I am also being joined by Gaurav Bhatia from the BJP. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Bhatia. This is a big win coming in fact, for Smriti Irani because, you know, a defamation suit where she and her daughter were targeted. This was definitely a serious issue. Now we're getting a direction coming in that all social media posts which are defamatory should be removed. What is the reaction coming in, Mr. Bhatia?
Absolutely. This is a tight slap on the face of the Congress party for the sinister design and propaganda that has become the hallmark of the Congress party now. Now, after the Delhi High Court verdict, I think Congress needs to introspect. And it has also shown how tenacity is the virtue that is not there with the Congress. But Smriti Irani ji came out in the open, took the legal route like any other citizen, and then decided to seek justice. And justice today has been delivered. And this is a very welcome order of the Delhi High Court.
Mr. Bhatia, what do you think this also means politically? Because, you know, sometimes we see that these borrowed words, you know, keep happening between the opposition and the centre. But when an 18-year-old in this case, Smriti Irani's daughter, is targeted and the court there is saying that defamatory material from there should be removed, what do you think this really means, Mr. Bhatia?
Politically, it's again a very significant order, and I'll tell you the reason why. It shows that a citizen who has faith in the judiciary and the legal system gets justice, and people who make scurrilous, irresponsible remarks without an iota of evidence are slammed by the court. And I recollect how Rahul Gandhi did the same to the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, using the slogan Chaukidar Chor Hai, and then later apologizing before the Honorable Supreme Court. So falsity, propaganda has become synonymous to the functioning of the Congress party today.
Right, Mr. Bhatia. Also, we have seen the opposition to say again and again that agencies are being used, like the CBI, the ED is being used to target, the opposition. But here we saw that some members in the opposition went all the way to the High Court, for seeking, in fact, saying that a young girl, Smriti Irani's daughter, was running a bar. That's a very serious allegation. coming from the Congress itself. So, in a way, would you say that this is hypocrisy coming from the opposition?
Just answering what you've asked me and taking your point forward, the difference between the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Congress is this, that when scurrilous allegations are made on leaders of the Bharatiya Janata Party and their relatives, like a law-abiding citizen, our leaders move the court and then the court has done justice. On the other hand, when there are serious allegations against the Gandhi Parivar and leaders of the Congress party, they do not move the court and they cry foul and they say this is a case of political vendetta, but they never get any relief from any competent court of the country. So the difference between the two parties and their approach, their faith in the judiciary is writ large and evident.
I would also request our executive editor, legal, Ridham Bhardwaj, to come in, and she would also like to take a question from you. Ridham, go ahead. All right, it seems as if Ridham is going to join us back, Mr. Bhatia. Just before you go, just one last question. What do you think is going to happen next now? Anything that you would like to, from the BJP side, take any kind of legal action now against the opposition for this specific case of defamation?
What should happen now is the larger question. Since the Congress party platform was used to make these scurrilous, scandalous remarks, Sonia Gandhi ji, as the president of the Congress party, should apologize to the country, and especially Smriti Irani ji, and to the child.
Right. All right. Now, Ridham Bhardwaj, our executive editor, legal, is joining us. Ridham, would you like to ask some questions to Gaurav Bhatia? Over to you, Ridham.
Thanks, Shivangi. Let me actually go across to Senior Advocate of the Supreme Court and BJP leader Gaurav Bhatia. Gaurav, I just heard you speaking there, but today I also feel it's the Delhi High Court that steps in a defamation case. Why this is a big blow for Pawan Khera, Jairam Ramesh and D'Souza is because the court has summoned them. The court has issued a notice, there's an interim injunction, and also because not only do they have to remove the derogatory, defamatory stuff that is there on all the social media platforms, but Gaurav, if they refuse to do so, then it is within 24 hours, the social media platforms that have to immediately jump into action because defamation and reputation loss is there involved of the union minister.
Ridham, you are absolutely right, and we must not forget a few aspects of the order. First, this is an interim order. Now, a defamatory statement attracts a criminal consequence as well as a civil consequence, depending on the prayer of the person aggrieved. Second, if they do not comply with the order of the court, then they would also be in contempt of not complying with the direction. That would further aggravate the misdeeds that they have done. And third and most important, political fallout, which I think is very important because it sends out a very strong message to the Congress party and similarly situated party that don't make irresponsible statements without adequate evidence. Like Rahul Gandhi did it for Narendra Modi ji, and now Pawan Khera, Jairam Ramesh and others making these scurrilous remarks for Smriti Irani ji's daughter. And I must salute the tenacity and the faith that Smriti Irani ji has in rule of law, in the judicial system of the country. It would be very disturbing for her. But like any other law-abiding citizen, she decided to move the court. And the court has spoken strongly through the order. And I am sure that Sonia Gandhi ji will take note of the observations.
Just have one more question for you, Gaurav. Aren't we seeing in the recent past a lot of onslaught, attacks coming, not only in this case, but defamatory statements also being made several times about the judiciary. You and I have seen from the time when there was talk about impeachment of a Chief Justice to now, there is a continued threat coming from this particular lobby and from politicians who are who are in the opposition to try and ensure that someone who's in power or the judiciary does not speak up for the truth.
Rhythm, you are bang on, and there is an ecosystem that has been created targeting very senior responsible leaders from the ruling dispensation, the honorable judges of the Supreme Court and the High Court, and just yesterday, I guess, one of the judges of the honorable Supreme Court had to remark that how far would you take the unsubstantiated criticism just because he was down with COVID. He was being targeted by a lobby. So, we are seeing these acts increasing in number, and it's definitely not healthy for our democracy.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Gaurav, for giving us those details. As BJP leader Nupur has been speaking today, this is going to come as also relief to the union minister because immediately the defamatory comments need to be removed. Summons have been issued, interim injunction has been granted, and the court has clearly said that this defamatory tweets on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all social media platforms have to be immediately removed.
Well, Rhythm, we just heard Gaurav Bhatia speaking to you. If you could just put this entire case in perspective for our viewers, once again, Rhythm, about why was this case very important, especially, the political and the legal ramifications of this case for our viewers, Rhythm, just once more.
Yes, absolutely. Let's tell our viewers that there is a defamation suit that has been slapped on leaders, and that is the Congress leaders who held a press conference. Jairam Ramesh, D'Souza, as well as Pawan Khera, they all held a press conference because it is defamatory content. We won't go into the details of the content that was there, but clear is to say there were grave allegations that were made that caused a reputation loss to Union Minister Smriti Irani. She moved the Delhi High Court asking for this to be struck down. Immediately, the Delhi High Court stepped in. The single bench of the Delhi High Court has gone on to say interim injunction is going to be there. The tweets can no longer be there, or whatever has been said in the press conference has to be removed from all social media platforms. It is a big relief coming in for the union minister. It's a big blow for the Congress party, big blow for Pawan Khera, Jairam Ramesh for the kind of press conferences that are being done. And it's also a message. There is something that is called a defamation case that can happen in the court, Shivangi, specifically when it involves someone's reputation, when it involves a grave prejudice being caused to their goodwill. And that is exactly what they, with this press conference, tried to do, is what the court has said. And therefore, in an interim injunction, the single bench passes an order today of the Delhi High Court saying, first, summons have been issued to them. Secondly, saying that these Congress leaders, Pawan Khera, Jairam Ramesh and D'Souza, will have to remove whatever is there on the social media platforms, and a next date of 18th August has been given.
Right. Rhythm, just once more, just take us through what happened in the court. A couple of arguments were being made where they said clearly that slanderous allegations were made against a plaintiff without verifying actual facts. Grave injury has been caused to the reputation of the plaintiff in view of the tweets and retweets carried out during the press conference of the defendants. So these are in fact, what was made in court. These are the arguments that were made in court.
Yes, absolutely. As this news comes in, it's Justice Mini Pushkarna is of the view that a prima facie case and balance of convenience has been made out by the union minister when she comes to the court. A grave injury has been caused to her. The suit was an ex parte interim temporary injunction that has been given on Smriti Irani's plea before the Delhi High Court. What this means is she moved a defamation suit before the Delhi High Court and an ex parte, which means they felt that the grave injury that was caused to the union minister was of such a stance that an ex parte temporary injunction on those tweets, on those words, slanderous as they were stated in the press conference, has been now given. What this effectively means is, like we said, notices have been issued to Congress leader Jairam Ramesh. Notice has been issued to Pawan Khera, and notice has been issued to D'Souza. This is a big blow for the three of them and for the Congress party, because this particular press press conference tried to have defamatory material in it against Union Minister Smriti Irani. When this happened, the court was clearly told today, and the court has said a grave injury was caused to her. These are legal terms, viewers, which means when you say in a defamation case and are able to prove that a grave injury has been caused to you and there's been a loss of reputation and goodwill, immediately the court and the law of the country moves in and gives relief, which is what has happened today. Summons have been also issued to these leaders. They will have to explain themselves. This is going to be a high-drawn, high-octave battle that will be seen in the Delhi High Court. And these leaders will have to come out with either concrete proof of what they have stated in the press conference or some kind of details, because defamation in India is taken extremely seriously. When there's a grave injury being caused to the petitioner, that is Union Minister Smriti Irani here, or when there is certain stuff being said that is going to be harmful and a loss of reputation is there, not only for her, but her family as well, then the courts will come in and protect her as they have today, or anyone who comes before them. The court saying, let's hear the matter on 18th of August. But till then, ensure that everything that is there on the social media platforms is removed.
All right. Thank you, Rhythm Bhardwaj, our executive editor, legal, for getting us a perspective on what really happened here. Rhythm, so just to tell the viewers that the Justice Mini Pushkarna has directed the Congress leaders to remove all allegedly defamatory material from social media platforms within 24 hours. If they fail, social media companies will have to do it themselves. Well, let's have a look at the other story we have been tracking. This big story. This is a Bengal cash scam that we are talking about right now, viewers. Getting in an update on the Bengal cash scam. Partho and his aide, Arpita, are being taken to the hospital for a medical right now. Those are the visuals that are on your screen as well. Arpita has fallen down. Now, Arpita is apparently, quote-unquote, sick after ED's double haul of raids, which have been happening at her residence. As you can see there on your screen is that Arpita is seen crying and falling sick. Well, that's what she's saying. So after that update came in, she's being taken to the hospital for a medical. Already the court had ordered a medical for both Partho Chatterjee and for Arpita every 48 hours. But after her condition, which seems to be fragile at this point of time that we can see there on the cameras, she's again being taken to the hospital for a medical as we speak. The case here is in fact, it's getting bigger by the day because a lot of recoveries have been made. Now, this is in relation with the SSC recruitment scam, something that we have been covering here on Republic TV, getting you every second of what's happening for the past 5-6 days now. Remember that the CBI is looking into the alleged irregularities in the recruitment of non-teaching staff and assistant teachers, and the ED is probing the money laundering aspect. While the questioning interrogation continues, we're seeing many things happening on the sidelines. One is that Partho's aide Arpita has fallen down. She's not feeling well. On the other hand, we saw that there were political ramifications as well when Partho Chatterjee has been removed from all party posts. He has been suspended from the TMC after news came in that he's involved here, and a lot of evidence as well in terms of cash, in terms of jewelry, in terms of property beads are coming out from the residence of Arpita Mukherjee. Piyush is joining me live from the ED office in Kolkata. Piyush, you have been tracking this story very closely for us. Piyush, take us through exactly what we're seeing on our screens. We can clearly see that Arpita is what she is claiming, and what we can see is that she's not feeling well. Now, this is happening after hours and hours of questioning by the ED, Piyush.
So definitely, as you rightly said, that, Arpita Mukherjee now is feeling the pressure of the constant interrogation she's been subjected to by the Enforcement Directorate officials. Now, this comes at the back of the massive raids and massive amount of cash that has been recovered from her residence at three of her residences by the Enforcement Directorate officials. And mind you, there are also 4 of her luxury vehicles which are presently missing. And it is believed that if the Enforcement Directorate is going to find these vehicles, it is going to lead to more cash being recovered and more vital documents that may lead to indictment of Partho Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee, who is the closest aide of the veteran TMC leader in this SSC recruitment scam, which has rocked not only the politics of Bengal, but its ripples now are being felt in politics nationally. And now Arpita Mukherjee realizes that how she's on the back foot, and the pressure of this now is being felt by her mentally as well as physically. Today, we saw the dramatic visuals where when she was being taken to the ESI hospital at Jokas, which is on the outskirts of Kolkata, she, fainted. She said that, she was not feeling well. She reportedly said that she was feeling sick. And this comes only after Partho Chatterjee also, when he was being arrested, said that, he was not feeling well. He was physically very weak, and he had a lot of physical ailments. But this did not come to the help of Partho Chatterjee, as the court ruled out that, this was just some of the ailments, and he should be taken into the custody of Enforcement Directorate for interrogation of the SSC recruitment scam. So what we are seeing is that, the kind of gimmicks, which mostly reportedly Partho Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee had been playing in case of their health, has not come to their rescue in terms of there being constant interrogation by the Enforcement Directorate in this SSC recruitment scam. And this is only going to widen, which make us believe that things are not going good for Partho Chatterjee as well as Arpita Mukherjee. Back to you in the studio.
Piyush, we are seeing visuals on our screen right now for our viewers as well, where Arpita is seen, in fact, fainting, and a lot of people are holding her and carrying her because she can't even stand. I mean, that is exactly what is coming out right now from Kolkata. Those are the visuals, viewers. Now, it definitely seems to be, like you said, that both Partho and Arpita are on a back foot, because the amount of recovery which has been made is completely sensational. A lot of cash, jewelry, property, deeds. It's very clear right now that where this case is heading. After Mamata Banerjee, Piyush has also, in fact, sacked him from the post and suspended him from the party, because TMC right now is also feeling the pressure. A lot of allegations being made against the TMC as well. Just take us through exactly what's happening politically as well there, Piyush.
Shivangi, you can just understand the enormity of the scam when you realize that in one of the raids that was conducted by Enforcement Directorate at the residence of Arpita Mukherjee, there were 50 lakh of 2,000 notes and 20 lakh of 500 notes that was found. Now that is staggering, and that can lead to any of the common citizen, who is looking at this scam very closely, completely shocked. So you can understand the enormity of the scam. And now, when even TMC, which is of which Partho Chatterjee was a very vital minister he was a very important minister. He was an industry minister, when he was reportedly taken into the custody by the Enforcement Directorate, has been sacked from all the cabinet berths of the Trinamool Congress. Now you can understand the kind of pressure which Trinamool Congress would also be facing, when they took this important decision. Mind you, Partho Chatterjee has been associated with Trinamool Congress for more than 40 years. So it would have been a very, vital decision that was taken by Trinamool Congress to sack Partho Chatterjee from all the cabinet berths of Trinamool Congress. So you can understand that even politically, the Trinamool Congress is facing the pressure. One of the most important things, which we found out yesterday was when Abhishek Banerjee was conveying the press conference, was that he said that circumstantial evidence as of now is against Partho Chatterjee, and the onus is on Partho Chatterjee himself to come clean in this case. So you can see very closely that TMC is distancing itself from Partho Chatterjee, a person who was associated with this party for more than 40 years. Back to you in the studio, Shivangi.
Piyush, hold on for a second there. Yes, it's definitely a lot of pressure on the TMC, right? A lot of allegations coming against the TMC as well. I just want the viewers to have a look at the complete sequence, how Arpita, after interrogation, apparently, quote unquote, fell sick.
The Enforcement Directorate is tightening its grip over Partha Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee. As the case explodes and massive twists are coming in this case, Republic Media Network is going to keep you updated of all the updates, of all the twists and turns in this case. Stay tuned to Republic Media Network.
Wherever you are, whenever you want. Republic live stream with you everywhere. Republic live stream, India's #1 streaming news.
India's Super News Network. Republic Media Network's #1 super feed. #1 across all 3 channels.
In a fatal accident, a class 9 student lost his life and several were injured as a school bus and a speeding truck collided in Punjab's Hoshiarpur. Congress MP Dipender Singh Hooda given a suspension of business notice in Rajya Sabha over Centre's Agnipath recruitment scheme in the monsoon session of Parliament.
उसमें आग लगी हुई है और आंदोलनकारी इस तरीके से
और कश्मीरी
Amid the tension between China and the United States with regards to Taiwan, China rejected a US bill to encourage more semiconductor companies to build chip plants in the US. China cited containment of restrictions from China-US cooperation in science and technology. US President Joe Biden and China Xi Jinping spent more than 2 hours talking through the future of their complicated relationship. Chinese Foreign Ministry reportedly warned United States President Joe Biden against playing with fire over Taiwan. China also blamed US unilateral sanctions and tariff barriers which affected the security of global supply of energy and food. This comes in the backdrop of US Speaker of the House announcing her trip to Taiwan.
I think that it's important for us to show support for Taiwan. I also think that none of us has ever said we're for independence when it comes to Taiwan. That's up to Taiwan to decide.
Hitting back at Nancy Pelosi, China firmly opposed to the planned visit to Taiwan. China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson said that the Chinese military will never sit idle and will take serious measures to thwart any attempts by external forces to interfere and separate Taiwan. In the midst of tension, soldiers participated in live-fire military drills amid escalating tensions with China in Taiwan. The military drills have been running every year since 1984 and aim to boost Taiwan's defenses against invading forces. Although
First visuals on your scene. Christian, would you give facts to India?
Mr. Bhandari, just one question, sir.
Mr. Malia, why are the questions bothering you when I'm not getting a single answer?
You're watching Live and Breaking on Republic. The headlines at this hour: big trouble for the Congress after Smriti's solid legal notice. Congress top brass summoned by Delhi court. No room for shoot and scoot for the Congress anymore. Delhi High Court tells Pawan Khera and Jairam Ramesh to remove content. After shameful sexism, Congress tries to brazen it out now, defends abuse of power in an even more shocking justification. It's insult and abuse galore by the Congress and clocking it. Clock is ticking, but Sonia Gandhi is yet to act against sexist Neta. Tension simmer in Mangaluru as another person is killed. Section 144 imposed until Saturday. Stunning twist in Bengal cash scam after mega cash hauls. Arpita's cars go missing. Bank accounts are seized. You're watching Live and Breaking. In our top story at this hour, the Bombay High Court has ordered collector of Mumbai Suburban to demolish 48 high-rise buildings near the Mumbai International Airport in compliance with the orders of the DGCA. The action has been directed to be taken before the 19th of August. Orders are for demolition of only those portions that are above a certain height, not a blanket demolition of the entire building. So the Bombay High Court passes an order, a big order on demolition of various high-rises near the Mumbai airport. Demolition not to be undertaken of the entire buildings, but of only those portions above a certain height. We got it coming in from the Mumbai High Court. Demolition of 48 buildings. That's a part of 48 buildings, those parts that are above a certain height. And Alicia on the phone line to tell us more about this order. Alicia, take us through the details. What exactly did the court say? Tell us more about the case as well. Was it filed by the DGCA?
Well, Rukma, it's an order. It's a PIL that was filed in 2019 on a danger to aircraft from high-rises near the airport. After which today, Bombay High Court has ordered of Mumbai Suburban to demolish 48 high-rise buildings near the Mumbai International Airport. But in compliance with the order of DGCA, the action should be directed to be taken before 19 August. But let me, clear one thing, because the order are for demolition of only those portions that are above a certain height, not a blanket demolition of the entire building. We know that in 2019, that was a PIL filed, and in which, in the last hearing, where Mumbai International Airport Limited told the Bombay High Court that the 2021 and 22 survey to identify obstacles, that is building and structure near the airport that pose danger to aircraft is underway. After which the report has been submitted to the Bombay High Court, and now Bombay High Court has ordered to demolish the portion of a certain height that should be demolished near the international airport, but with the compliance of the DGCA.
Many thanks, Alicia, for joining us there. So a big order passed by the Bombay High Court on buildings above a particular height, 48 such buildings near the Mumbai airport. Moving on to other news now, big trouble for the Congress. Justice Mini Pushkarna has further directed Congress leaders to remove all allegedly defamatory material from social media platforms within 24 hours. If they fail, the social media companies will do it, says the court. And this is an order passed in a case against Jairam Ramesh, Pawan Khera and Neta D'Souza to remove the defamatory material on social media against Union Minister Smriti Irani. So summons issued to Jairam Ramesh, Pawan Khera and Neta D'Souza on a defamation suit filed by Union Minister Smriti Irani. A single judge bench of Justice Mini Pushkarna has directed that the slanderous allegations that were made against the plaintiff without verifying actual facts should be removed. And the deadline that the court has given is 24 hours. Grave injury, the court has said, has been caused to the reputation of the plaintiff in view of the tweets and retweets carried out due to the press conference of the defendants. Earlier, Jairam Ramesh and Pawan Khera had been among those of the Congress who had accused Union Minister Smriti Irani's daughter of illegally running a bar in Goa. The Union Minister had, of course, refuted all the allegations and filed a civil suit. Now, the Delhi High Court has issued an order in this regard to remove all the defamatory allegations within 24 hours. So, summons issued to Jairam Ramesh, Pawan Khera and Neta D'Souza, among those involved in various tweets and retweets. The civil suit had named these Congress leaders of having indulged in publishing slanderous allegations, particularly in social media. So it's a big win for Smriti Irani in this case. The Delhi High Court giving a deadline of 24 hours for the removal of all defamatory allegations against her daughter. The court has also issued summons to Jairam Ramesh, Pawan Khera and Neta D'Souza in this regard. So it's a big win for Union Minister Smriti Irani, and the court in the single judge bench in its hearing has ordered that all the defamatory allegations against Smriti Irani's daughter be removed from all social media platforms, or the media platforms will have to remove the slanderous allegations themselves. And the court has also issued summons to Congress senior leaders Jairam Ramesh, Neta D'Souza and Pawan Khera. And Piyush Mishra to tell us more about this. Piyush, it's a major setback for the Congress and a big win for Smriti Irani. The Delhi High Court ordering the removal of all defamatory content after that civil suit filed by her in this case.
Well, absolutely. That is now being seen as a big trouble for the Congress party, as the Delhi High Court has issued not only summons to Congress leaders, but also has asked the leaders of Congress party like Pawan Khera to remove all the content from social media. In fact, a tweet has also been asked to be deleted, which is what we are given to understand. So as of now, Congress party has not reacted on this, but yes, it is being seen as a big setback to the Congress party. Remember that they had leveled allegations on the Smriti Irani and her family.
Right. Piyush, stay with us. We also have with us our senior executive editor, Niranjan, on this story. Niranjan, well, it's a very big setback for the Congress, a big win for Smriti Irani. And in addition to the summons that are being issued, well, where do you see this going from now on? And also, could you put it into some perspective about where it all began and where we are seeing it as it is now?
Well, this entire case, the Congress party has, they held that news conference when they made these allegations. And, when they made these allegations, they sort of dragged Smriti Irani's daughter into it. And there was a counter-claim that came in from the BJP. In fact, Smriti Irani held a news conference saying that this was an attempt to defame her daughter, trying to drag her family into this. And she said that the Congress was trying to make it personal because she defeated Rahul Gandhi in Amethi. Now, the lawyers for Smriti Irani in the courts have said and have made the statement that this is a personal fight for them and for the Congress party, that is, and it was an attempt to defame Smriti, who was a minister. But I think now the fact that the court has stepped in, has summoned these Congress leaders, that is Jairam Ramesh, Pawan Khera, and even I think it was Neta D'Souza, a leader called Neta D'Souza, who was reportedly there at that news conference. And they were called, they've now been summoned, not just the summons. It's a big setback for the Congress party because the court has asked them to remove all the allegedly defamatory content from all social media platforms, from websites, from social media platforms. And the court has said if they don't do it, the social media platforms will have to do it. So either way, all the defamatory content that they posted will be brought down either by the Congress leaders themselves. They will have to do it. The court has asked them to do it within 24 hours. And if they defy the courts, then the social media platforms will have to bring that down. So that's where the story stands. And for Smriti Irani, who believes that the Congress party needlessly dragged her family into it because there have been counter-claims that, the claim of the Congress was that her daughter owned a bar, etc. in Goa. Now, she's countered all of those claims and said that the allegations were defamatory in nature. And the fact that the courts have intervened and have summoned these three Congress leaders and have asked them to take down this defamatory content tells you that perhaps the Congress is on the back foot on this one. Let's see where the story goes, because I think Jairam Ramesh included has responded on social media saying that they will go to court and fight this out. So it's a battle where they try to sort of drag her daughter into it, and they find themselves in a big legal mess because Sonia Gandhi, Smriti Irani has dragged them to court. So we'll take a short break at this point and we'll get reactions as well. We'll get reactions as well to the story, which is likely to get bigger with more reactions coming in from the BJP, which says that the Congress party should not shoot and scoot. They're calling in an attempt to shoot and scoot, and that is why they're in a bind. Let's see where the story goes. Back to you for now.
Amity University has India's largest scholarship program, from which over 25,000 brilliant students have already benefited. Students with over 95% in Class 12 boards get 100% scholarship, and students with over 90% get 50% scholarship. Join brilliant, like-minded students who want to be successful. Apply at amity.edu/scholarships.
Congress MP K. Suresh gives adjournment motion notice in Lok Sabha over war of words which unfolded between Union Minister Smriti Irani and Sonia Gandhi. Congress MP alleges that shocking attempts were made by BJP MPs, including Union Minister Smriti Irani, to threaten Sonia Gandhi. Amid flash floods in Himachal Pradesh, a link road was washed away in Kaza district. An estimated loss of 15 lakh rupees has been incurred, and the Karnataka State Disaster Management Authority has urged the district administration to take stock of the situation.
In a bizarre incident, watch students of primary school in Uttar Pradesh Baldio area making a bridge of chairs for teachers to enter the waterlogged school. This is yet another incident which went viral of teachers allegedly involved in a bizarre incident. Visuals show students drenched in knee-deep water making pathway for teachers by placing chairs in a row. Soon after the video went viral, the teachers were suspended.
उक्त वीडियो का हमने संज्ञान लिया है, उच्च अधिकारियों के भी संज्ञान में उक्त वीडियो है और हमने अध्यापका के विरुद्ध कार्यवाही कर दी है.
Similarly, a teacher was suspended in Uttar Pradesh Hardoi district few days earlier after a video of her getting massage from students went viral.
You're watching live and breaking news coming in now in the case of Jairam Ramesh, Pawan Khera and Neta D'Souza being issued summons by the Delhi High Court. The first Jairam Ramesh response on the summons we are getting you. First, Jairam Ramesh responding to the Delhi High Court order, which has issued a summons to him as well as Pawan Khera and Neta D'Souza, among others, in what can be seen as a major win for Union Minister Smriti Irani. Joining us is our legal expert, Rhythm. Rhythm, it's over to you to take us through the significance of this, can we say the first level as far as this particular legal case is concerned. Jairam Ramesh, however, remains defiant, says he will fight it out in court. It's over to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The Delhi High Court today has come down extremely strongly, giving an interim injunction in this case where defamatory tweets and material has been put on social media platforms in a press conference that has been done by Congress leaders Jairam Ramesh, D'Souza as well as Pawan Khera. This is seen as a big blow to the three of them and to the Congress party because the court has clearly stated there was slanderous material that was put in the press conference that caused a loss of reputation to the Union Minister Smriti Irani and her family. Let's remember these are words that are usually used in defamation cases. If she, that is the Union Minister, that is the plaintiff or the petitioner before the Delhi High Court, was able to establish that there was a loss of reputation and goodwill to her, then in fact the Delhi High Court will immediately give protection to anyone, as they have done here. So what does this really mean? There is a massive blow coming in for Pawan Khera, Jairam Ramesh and others. Even though, like you rightly said, they are being defiant, the big news that comes in today is notice has been issued on the defamation suits that had been filed by Smriti Irani. Summons have been issued to the three of them. They will have to give explanations by the 18th of August, when is the next date of the hearing. They have to massively, big blow to them, immediately pull out all the stuff from the social media platforms, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook or any other social media platform. If they fail to do so, then even more, the court clarifies its order. The social media platform itself has to ensure within the next 24 hours the defamatory content is removed.
Well, many thanks, Rhythm, for joining us there and for putting that into perspective. So the Delhi High Court issuing a summons against three top Congress leaders, among them Jairam Ramesh and Pawan Khera, and also ordering that 24 hours, within 24 hours, the defamatory material on various social media websites have to be removed. A major developing story in that regard, a big win for Union Minister Smriti Irani. And it's time now for a short break. All the details here on Republic, so stay with us. In a fatal accident, a class 9 student lost his life and several were injured as a school bus and a speeding truck collided in Punjab's Hoshiarpur. Congress MP Dipender Singh Hooda given a suspension of business notice in Rajya Sabha over Centre's Agnipath recruitment scheme in the monsoon session of Parliament. India, grand welcome for Prime Minister Narendra Modi witnessed in Chennai today, welcomed with dhols and dance. Chennai welcomed the Prime Minister ahead of his visit to the 42nd convocation of Anna University.
उसमें आग लगी हुई है और आंदोलनकारी इस तरीके से
और कश्मीरी
Amid the tension between China and the United States with regards to Taiwan, China rejected a US bill to encourage more semiconductor companies to build chip plants in the US. China cited containment of restrictions from China-US cooperation in science and technology. US President Joe Biden and China Xi Jinping spent more than 2 hours talking through the future of their complicated relationship. Chinese Foreign Ministry reportedly warned United States President Joe Biden against playing with fire over Taiwan. China also blamed US unilateral sanctions and tariff barriers which affected the security of global supply of energy and food. This comes in the backdrop of US Speaker of the House announcing her trip to Taiwan.
I think that it's important for us to show support for Taiwan. I also think that none of us has ever said we're for independence when it comes to Taiwan. That's up to Taiwan to decide.
Hitting back at Nancy Pelosi, China firmly opposed to the planned visit to Taiwan.
Watching live and breaking here on Republic, and breaking development here. The Prime Minister has tweeted a video on his Chennai visit saying, I quote, "Memories from Chennai. Thank you for an unforgettable visit." These are visuals on your screen from the video that the Prime Minister has tweeted.
I declare the 44th State Olympiad open. May the games begin. always been considered divine in our culture. Tamil Nadu has a strong historical connection with chess. This is why it is a chess powerhouse for India. Our talented youngsters, especially from small towns and villages, are bringing glory. Sport is beautiful because it has inherent power to unite.
You are whenever you want. Republic live stream with you everywhere. Republic live stream, India's #1 streaming news.
India's Super News Network. Republic Media Network's #1 super feed. #1 across all 3 channels.
In a fatal accident, a class 9 student lost his life and several were injured as a school bus and a speeding truck collided in Punjab's Hoshiarpur. Congress MP Dipender Singh Hooda given a suspension of business notice in Rajya Sabha over Centre's Agnipath recruitment scheme in the monsoon session of Parliament.
उसमें आग लगी हुई है और आंदोलनकारी इस तरीके से
और कश्मीरी
Amid the tension between China and the United States with regards to Taiwan, China rejected a US bill to encourage more semiconductor companies to build chip plants in the US. China cited containment of restrictions from China-US cooperation in science and technology. US President Joe Biden and China Xi Jinping spent more than 2 hours talking through the future of their complicated relationship. Chinese Foreign Ministry reportedly warned United States President Joe Biden against playing with fire over Taiwan. China also blamed US unilateral sanctions and tariff barriers which affected the security of global supply of energy and food. This comes in the backdrop of US Speaker of the House announcing her trip to Taiwan.
I think that
in other cases. That right has to be upheld, and by the prima facie case finding which the learned judge has given, she has held that all these posts, photographs, videos must be removed, and there should be a restraint from republishing and publishing them, because that is also an offence. It is not today, the world is not so simple as to say I can say what I like, because you can never reverse the clock. Your reputation, if it gets out of hand, is like good money which has gone down the drain. It's actually much higher than that, but I'm just giving you an example. So today's order really enforces that position, and similar orders have been passed by the High Court, Delhi High Court, other courts at the interim relief stage itself on a prima facie finding. It has to be by prima facie finding. Thank you so much.
मैम, एक सिविल डेफेमेशन केस फाइल हुआ है स्मृति ईरानी जी द्वारा, जिसमें कांग्रेस के नेताओं को समन्स भी हुआ है और एक डायरेक्शन इशू हुआ है कि सब सोशल मीडिया से अपने पोस्ट हटाएं जो उन्होंने उनकी बेटी पे एलिगेशन लगाए। क्या है एक्चुअली केस?
देखिए क्या हुआ है कि अल्टीमेटली इस केस में इतनी गलत तरीके से बातें कही गई हैं जिसके ऊपर स्मृति जी और उनके परिवार को नुकसान पहुंचा, उनकी रेपुटेशन को नुकसान पहुंचा, हानि पहुंची है, और उस कारण से उन्होंने कॉम्पेंसेशन का केस और इंजंक्शन का केस डाला था कि ये सारे जो प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस की पोजीशन है और जो ट्वीट और रीट्वीट है, चाहे वो मेटा में है, चाहे वो यूट्यूब में है, चाहे वो इंस्टाग्राम में है, यहाँ सबसे वो क्या कहते हैं डिलीट होने चाहिए. दे शुड बी रिमूव फ्रॉम दैट. टेक डाउन जो बोलते हैं हम इन दी कोर्ट्स लैंग्वेज यूज इज दैट. ये बार एक था गोवा में जिसका स्मृति जी से कोई कनेक्शन नहीं है, जिसमें उनका परिवार का कोई कनेक्शन नहीं है, ना वो मालिक है, ना वो कभी मालिक थे, ना कभी उन्होंने लाइसेंस अप्लाई किया. यहाँ तक कि जो लाइसेंस के लिए जो क्वेरी एक्साइज कमिश्नर ने की वो किसी और को की हुई है जो रिकॉर्ड पे है, और जिसकी जानकारी प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में खुद जयराम रमेश जी ने, पवन खेरा जी ने खुद बोला कि ऐसा नोटिस दिया है. नोटिस का लिखा हुआ किसको दिया है. उसके बावजूद गलत तरीके से उनके बारे में आरोप लगाना, और खास करके नेशनल हेराल्ड के केस के बाद इस प्रकार से उन्होंने कहा. और इतनी लार्ज फॉलोइंग है जो अपने आप ही, ये जो व्यूइंग है कम से कम 2 लाख तो वही है, और 6.5 मिलियन रफली आपकी बाकी जो हैंडल्स हैं उनके ऊपर है. तो आज कोर्ट ने ये देखते हुए कि प्राइमा फेसी केस बनता है, इंजंक्शन ग्रांट कर दी है कि ये एक तो टेक डाउन होने चाहिए जो पोस्ट हो चुके हैं इन सारे प्लेटफॉर्म्स के ऊपर, और फर्दर इंजंक्शन दी है कि इसके ऊपर आप आगे और पब्लिकेशन नहीं हो सकती. और बिल्कुल लाजमी है आज के ज़माने में जहाँ सोशल मीडिया इतना पावरफुल है, सही तरीके से उसका पावर यूज होना चाहिए. ये तरीका नहीं है. अल्टीमेटली ये ड्यूटी है प्लेटफॉर्म्स की भी कि चीज़ों को वेरीफाई. इसमें कोर्ट ने होल्ड भी किया है अनवेरीफाइड एलिगेशंस, बल्कि एक अगर आप फर्दर जाएं तो इसमें वेरीफाइड उन दूसरी साइड को था कि ये लाइसेंस स्मृति जी का कभी न था न कभी होगा. फिर और भी कई बातें कही है जो आपने देखा है, बार में ऐसे रन करता है, कहीं और भी लोगों के पॉलिटिकल लीडर्स के नाम ले लिए.
Congress MP K. Suresh gives adjournment motion notice in Lok Sabha over war of words which unfolded between Union Minister Smriti Irani and Sonia Gandhi. Congress MP alleges that shocking attempts were made by BJP MPs, including Union Minister Smriti Irani, to threaten Sonia Gandhi. Amid flash floods in Himachal Pradesh, a link road was washed away in Kaza district. An estimated loss of 15 lakh rupees has been incurred, and the Karnataka State Disaster Management Authority has urged the district administration to take stock of the situation.
In a bizarre incident, watch students of primary school in Uttar Pradesh Baldio area making a bridge of chairs for teachers to enter the waterlogged school. This is yet another incident which went viral of teachers allegedly involved in a bizarre incident. Visuals show students drenched in knee-deep water making pathway for teachers by placing chairs in a row. Soon after the video went viral, the teachers were suspended.
उक्त वीडियो का हमने संज्ञान लिया है. उच्चाधिकारियों के भी संज्ञान में उक्त वीडियो है और हमने अध्यापका के विरुद्ध कार्यवाही कर दी है.
Similarly, a teacher was suspended in Uttar Pradesh Hardoi district few days earlier after a video of her getting massage from students went viral.
Top headlines at this hour, viewers. A big trouble for Khera and company after Smriti's solid legal notice. Congress top brass summoned by the Delhi court. No room for shoot and scoot for Congress anymore. Delhi High Court tells Pawan Khera and Jairam to remove content.
अभी क्या स्थिति है सर? क्या आपके साथ है सभी सदस्य?
अब देखिए क्या होता है.
मंत्री पहुंचे थे, आपने अंदर जाने से रोका है?
बिल्कुल रोका है.
हुई जमकर
जी, जब हमको रोका गया तो उनको कैसे जाने देंगे अंदर.
और शहर की स्थिति बात करें, क्या सीहोर में कल एक कांड हुआ था, उसके बाद की स्थिति अभी क्या?
अब है लड़ाई हमारी है, ये तो जो लड़ाई है.
अभी क्या दावे हैं कि आप सबसे अधिक पूरे प्रदेश में बात करें?
जी
एक और नहीं विश्वास आ रही प्रदेश में जिला पंचायत में आपके अध्यक्ष कितने बन रहे
कि जो है उनको भी जो है सर्टिफिकेट और तमाम
सरकारी गाड़ी में लेकर आ रहे हैं. सरकारी गाड़ी में लेकर
सरकारी गाड़ी में लेकर नहीं आ रहा. ये हमारी निजी गाड़ी है. निजी गाड़ी में लेकर आए हैं और हम मंत्री हैं. तो मंत्री के नाते जो सुरक्षा होना चाहिए वो हमारी है सुरक्षा।
सर, कांग्रेस आरोप लगा रही कि जो
3 जिला पंचायत सदस्य उनके समर्थित थे,
भाजपा के नेताओं ने अपहरण कर लिया, ऐसे आरोप लगा रही।
तो जिनका हम लोगों ने अपहरण या भाजपा के लोगों ने अपहरण किया है तो उनके परिवार के लोगों से शिकायत कराएं ना। उनके परिवार के लोग तो कहेंगे ना कि हमारे परिवार के सदस्य का अपहरण कर लिया है, तो कोई सदस्य तो बोले कि अपहरण हुआ है। तो ऐसे कांग्रेस के कहने से अपहरण कैसे हो जाएगा? वो एक रिपोर्ट कराएं ना, उनके परिवार में बहनें, माता पिता, पत्नी, किसी से तो रिपोर्ट कराएं कि हमारे सदस्य को भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लोग जबरदस्ती उठा कर
निराशा है जो आरोप लगाए जा रहे हैं।
अब ये तो परिणाम बताएगा।
अभी कह रहे हैं कि धनबल का सर
हेलो
All right, we're getting some visuals there of a scuffle between policemen and Digvijay Singh. Visuals first from Republic coming in there. A fierce scuffle between Digvijay Singh and the policemen outside the district panchayat office in Bhopal. We're getting you those updates as we speak right now. Visuals on your screen. Now, this is coming on the backdrop of the election of the district panchayat. Precedent is going on in many districts, including Bhopal. So this is the big news coming in. What we believe is that a ruckus was being created.
गाड़ी नहीं जाएगी ना, गाड़ी नहीं जाएगी। आप भी पीछे होइए, मीडिया ऐसे आ जाओ यार, मीडिया ऐसे धक्का मत दो पीछे पीछे धक्का मत दो पीछे रस्से पीछे रस्सा इधर लेके आओ आगे। अरे भाई तो करना अरे तुम तो हटो भैया आइए
All right, so we are seeing those visuals of a heated argument and scuffle there, which is breaking out between Digvijay and the cops. A fierce scuffle there between Digvijay Singh and policemen outside the district panchayat office in Bhopal. We are getting some more breaking news coming in at this point of time. These are live images coming in from Kolkata. Live images coming in from Kolkata. Bengal cash scam keeps exploding by the day.
পার্থ চট্টোপাধ্যায়ের গাড়ি বেরিয়ে গিয়েছে, কনভয় বেরিয়ে গিয়েছে, কিন্তু কিছু হয়তো তিনি সংবাদ মাধ্যমের সামনে বলতে চাইলেন। মমতা বন্দ্যোপাধ্যায় যে সিদ্ধান্ত নিয়েছেন।
Well, we just saw those visuals coming in where Partho is left after his medical. Our Republic Bangla correspondent there on spot in Kolkata getting us all the details. So we have been tracking Partho Chatterjee for the past few days right now, and what we can see on our screens is Partho is leaving after his medical. All right, Piyush is joining me. Piyush, you know, what we are seeing right now is after Arpita was taken for a medical after she quote-unquote fell sick and almost, in fact, fell down. She had to be carried by a lot of people. Now we are seeing that Partho Chatterjee is right now leaving his medical. What is happening on ground?
So what you can see from here, Shivangi, is that, you know, there is a lot of drama which is involved in the medical examination of Arpita Mukherjee and Partho Chatterjee, taking into consideration of how backward they are, how on the back foot they are due to the interrogation which is being done by the Enforcement Directorate on the alleged SSC scam. You can see a lot of drama being played. Now, Partho Chatterjee today, in a very dramatic way, today said that, you know, he's been subjected to political vendetta for which he's being harassed politically. So he's done the medical examination and now he's coming back to Enforcement Directorate for the questioning. Earlier today, we saw how Arpita Mukherjee, you know, fainted and was being picked up by the supporters over there when she was going for the medical examination. So what you are seeing is that, you know, with Enforcement Directorate now making massive raids and making, you know, massive, they are taking out massive amounts of money. You are seeing a lot of drama being played out by Partho Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee when they're going for the medical examination and all the processes which they are involved in as they are undergoing interrogation in the SSC scam. Back to you in the studio.
Piyush, well, we can see on our screens, and viewers, what you're seeing are exclusive images that we have access because our team is on ground. Multiple reporters on ground, including from Republic Bangla, where we are getting you all those details. Partho's leaving after his medical. And of course, Piyush, these medical exams have also been ordered by court for every 48 hours. In a stunning twist also to the Bengal cash scam, 4 luxury cars of Arpita Mukherjee have gone missing, Piyush. What exactly happened there?
So there are two things, you know, which you just mentioned. First, the medical examination as has been, you know, ruled by the court for Partho Chatterjee. Now, mind you, you know, Partho Chatterjee had said that, you know, he cannot participate in the investigation by Enforcement Directorate as he was ill. And for which the Enforcement Directorate also said that, you know, he should not be getting treated in the state-run hospitals at Kolkata over here because there are high chances that, you know, they would give him the wrong report and he would not participate in the interrogation. So the Enforcement Directorate in that way was successful in getting Partho Chatterjee get medically examined at central-run hospitals. And the first examination of this was today done at ESI. We are going to be examining of how this all plays out, what are the reports which are going to be given out by the ESI. But you can just see that how there was a diversionary tactic that was adopted by Partho Chatterjee to, you know, be away from this interrogation scam that has, you know, really got him into the back foot. Having said that, one major factor which has resulted in Partho Chatterjee being on the back foot is the massive amounts of cash that has been, you know, unearthed by Enforcement Directorate. And in this, there are now also claims that there are 4 luxury vehicles which as of now has gone missing. These 4 luxury vehicles belong to the closest aide of Partho Chatterjee, Arpita Mukherjee. And it is believed that if the Enforcement Directorate officials are going to get hold of these 4 vehicles, it will lead to further amounts of cash being unearthed and also the very important documents that may lead to further indictment of Partho Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee. I can just tell you the enormity of the scam. You know, in one of the raids that was conducted by Enforcement Directorate officials, there were 50 lakh, 2,000 notes and 20 lakh 500 notes. So you can just understand the enormity of the scam, you know, which, this entire SSC, the teacher recruitment scam involves. And really, Partho Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee are on the back foot. The TMC has also distanced itself from Partho Chatterjee, saying that the circumstantial evidence as of now goes completely against Partho Chatterjee, and it is now the onus, it is his responsibility to come clean in this entire scam. Back to you in the studio.
Piyush, Republic has received a sensational scoop that Arpita Mukherjee told the ED that the only person who had access to a flat where at least 30 crore cash was recovered was Partho Chatterjee. Only Partho could enter. That's exactly what she had told the ED. That's what our sources have found out. So it's very obvious that, they're completely on the back foot. Also, after politically what is happening in TMC trying to stay away from the allegations because they have this Mati Manush, slogan, which definitely does not go along with what's happening there in Bengal cash scam, Piyush.
As you rightly said, even our sources have told us that Arpita Mukherjee has said that, all this, access to her residential apartments was only given by Partho Chatterjee. And all this cash also, which has been unearthed by the enforcement directly, belongs to Partho Chatterjee. So what you can see over here is that she's completely pinning the blame on Partho Chatterjee, saying that, how things are going from bad to worse for Partho Chatterjee as well as Arpita Mukherjee. Having said that, with the enormity of scam now only becoming larger, it is believed that not only Partho Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee, but also several other top leaders of TMC and also several other associates that were, very senior associates, very senior very senior public officials, that were related to Partho Mukherjee may be involved. As I am reporting from the Enforcement Directorate, I want to...
क्या कहना चाहती हैं? अर्पिता कुछ कहना चाह रही हैं आप? क्या कहना चाह रही हैं? अर्पिता की जो बोल रहे हैं, क्या बोलना चाह रही हैं? अर्पिता जी कुछ कहिए। अर्पिता जी बोलिए। अर्पिता जी कुछ बोलिए। तब क्या? अर्पिता जी। अर्पिता। अर्पिता की जो बोल रहे हैं, अर्पिता क्या कहेंगी? किसकी संपत्ति थी ये? फंसाया गया। क्या हालत है? डॉक्टरों ने क्या बोला? अर्पिता किसकी थी? पार्थ चटर्जी का रोल क्या था? अर्पिता आप हाथ जोड़ रही है, क्या रोल था? जल्दी ऑन करो यार।
We just heard that sequence, viewers. We just heard that where Arpita was getting inside the car. Many questions to her, but she's not looking well at all. She was being taken for that medical. Piyush, we just saw those visuals on our screens of Arpita getting into the car, where clearly she's not looking very well. She's looking a little sick right now. But then again, the question right now is, after hours of interrogation and evidence piling against Partho Chatterjee, it does seem that both of them right now are extremely in the back foot. After so many claims that, we have not done anything wrong, the amount of cash, the amount of property deeds, the amount of jewelry which is recovered, the amount of gold bars which have recovered, we can clearly see right now, Piyush, that Arpita not claiming she's unwell really points towards where gives a hint actually to where this case is heading to, Piyush.
A very good observation, Shivangi. You rightly said that, hours of interrogation, raids conducted by Enforcement Directorate.
अर्पिता आपकी तबीयत खराब है? अर्पिता आपकी तबीयत खराब है क्या? अर्पिता आपकी तबीयत खराब है? आप लगातार हो रहे हैं। ऑन हो गया? लाइव ही नहीं हो। नेटवर्क मेरे कल हैंग हो गया। आपको बांग्लादेश में इन्वेस्टमेंट की बात सामने आ रही है। ये फ्लैग बहुत शिक्षक है। हेलो। अरे भाई टच काम नहीं कर रहा है, ऑफ करना पड़ेगा, हैंग हो गया। अर्पिता अरे शूट करो यार, एक मिनट रुक जाओ ना, शूट तो कर लूँ ना मूवमेंट को। कितने सालों में आपने ये प्रॉपर्टी बनाई? आपको अपने किए पर पछतावा है क्या? यहाँ से जब निकल जाएगा सब क्या लाइव लोगे यार तुम? अर्पिता मुखर्जी को मेडिकल कराने के बाद यहाँ से रवाना हो चुकी है और वापस ईडी के ऑफिस ले जाया गया है। देखिए, मेडिकल की प्रोसेस हर 48 घंटे में होना है, तो ये कोर्ट के आदेश पर हो रहा है। लेकिन जो आपने कहा कि
All right, so we just saw that sequence, viewers. What really happened on the screen is that Arpita is done with her medical and now she's going to go back to ED for further interrogation. Piyush, I want you to come in right now and tell us exactly what we can expect next. All right, we'll be getting to Piyush in just a second. Right now, we're getting exclusive images, viewers, of Partho Chatterjee and Arpita as well. Arpita's medical is over, it seems, and she's going to go back for questioning. Earlier, she had fallen unwell. At least that's what she had claimed. So a medical test had been ordered for her. The visuals on the screen, you can see clearly our Republic Bangla team and our Republic English team as well is right there on spot covering every detail of this case from Kolkata.
अर्पिता की बोल रहे इस वक्त शहर में बुलाया जा रहा है। अर्पिता क्या कह रही है? ये सारी प्रॉपर्टी किसकी थी? अर्पिता टाका क्या रखेगा चाहिए कि बोल दे? अर्पिता किसी बोल दे? क्या रोक कुछ कहना चाहती है? क्या कहना चाहती है? अर्पिता कुछ कहना चाह रही है आप? क्या कहना चाह रही है? अर्पिता की जो बोल रहे हैं क्या बोलना चाह रही है? अर्पिता जी कुछ कहिए। अर्पिता जी बोलिए। अर्पिता जी कुछ बोलिए। तब क्या? अर्पिता जी। अर्पिता अर्पिता की जो बोल रहे हैं अर्पिता क्या कहेंगे? किसकी संपत्ति थी ये? फंसाया गया। क्या हालत है? डॉक्टरों ने क्या बोला? अर्पिता किसकी थी? पार्थ चटर्जी का रोल क्या था? अर्पिता आप हाथ जोड़ रही है, क्या रोल था? जल्दी ऑन करो यार। कुछ बोला है? हाँ, आई लव यू तुम्हारे ड्राइवर। तुम्हारे ड्राइवर से मैं बहुत प्यार करती हूँ।
Well, high drama unfolds in Kolkata as Arpita claims to be unwell. We're getting you all the details, exclusive images, and the first images only on Republic TV. Back-to-back leads here, and we continue tracking the story very closely for you. Let's have a look at the other stories that are making news all over India. Additional station house officer of police Narendra Singh was arrested by the STF Amritsar. He was arrested for taking 10 lakh rupees bribe from a drug supplier for not naming him in that FIR registered in a case of drug trafficking. Tamil Nadu CM M.K. Stalin welcomed PM Modi to the 42nd convocation of Anna University in Chennai today. During the convocation ceremony at Anna University, Tamil Nadu, CM addressed the students saying that the degree is not just a degree to them but for the country and motivates the students to work together for the country's bright future. Once again, another Congress leader defends insults of the president. This time, Congress MP Rajmani Patel said it was a slip of tongue and there is no reason for Congress interim President Sonia Gandhi to apologize.
ये एक मानवीय प्रवृत्ति होती है, बड़े बड़े लोग होते हैं, सबसे माने बात करते समय में जबान स्लिप हो जाती है, तो ये कोई इरादा कोई ऐसा उनका नहीं था। चर्चा के दौरान जो है बात स्लिप हो गई और जिसके लिए उन्होंने माफ़ी मांग लिया और उन्होंने दिया कि राष्ट्रपति से भी मिल करके हम उनसे व्यक्तिगत रूप से माफ़ी मांगेंगे।
It has come into notice that 4 cars have been missing from Arpita Mukherjee's Tollygunge flat. Though ED has recovered 1 car out of the 5 cars, the remaining 4 cars are still missing. ED is searching for the numbers of these cars and they are checking the CCTV footage of Arpita Mukherjee's flat situated in the Karunamoi area in Kolkata. Smriti Irani, Union Minister for Women and Child Development and Minority Affairs, along with Mahendra Munchpara, MOS for Women and Child Development, and John Barla, MOS for Minority Affairs, met President Droupadi Murmu at Rashtrapatni Bhavan today. Viewers, in a major crackdown in the northeastern state of Assam, 11 people were detained for their alleged links with global terror outfit, including Al-Qaeda in the Indian subcontinent and Bangladesh-based as well Ansarullah Bangla team. One of the persons detained was also a madrasa teacher in the state. According to the police, the 11 persons who were detained yesterday from Assam's Moregaon and other areas are connected to Islamic fundamentalists, having links with Al-Qaeda as well. Now, further action will be taken as per law. A big terror crackdown coming in from Assam. This is a major terror crackdown in the northeast state of Assam. Let's have a look at what Himanta Biswa Sarma, the CM of Assam, has to say.
আমাৰ যিটো টিম আছে, যিটো এতিয়া জেহাদী সংগঠন আছে, সেইটো AQIS আল-কায়দাৰ এটা সংগঠনৰ এফিলেটেড বাংলাদেশৰ আন এটা আনসাৰুল কিবা বুলি এটা সংগঠন আছে। সেইটো সংগঠনৰ লগতে আমাৰ অসমৰ জেহাদী মডিউলবিলাক লিংক আপ হৈ আছে। যোৱাকালি আমি বৰপেটা আৰু মৰিগাঁও 2টা মডিউল আমি নষ্ট কৰিব পাৰিছোঁ।
All right, so a big terror crackdown coming in, 11 detained for Al-Qaeda links. Now, this is coming in from the state of Assam and the Assam CM there. We just heard him say that action will be taken, action will be ordered for what is really happening there. A terror module has been busted. And remember that 11 people, I repeat, 11 people have been detained. And the allegations are very serious because they are said to have links with the Al-Qaeda in the Indian subcontinent and the Bangladesh-based, not Indian, but Bangladesh-based Ansarullah Bangla team. Now, one of the persons was also a madrasa teacher. That's what we have learned.
In a bizarre incident, watch students of primary school in Uttar Pradesh Baldio area making a bridge of chairs for teachers to enter the waterlogged school. This is yet another incident which went viral of teachers allegedly involved in a bizarre incident. Visuals show students drenched in knee-deep water making pathway for teachers by placing chairs in a row. Soon after the video went viral, the teachers were suspended.
उक्त वीडियो का हमने संज्ञान लिया है, उच्च अधिकारियों के भी संज्ञान में उक्त वीडियो है और हमने अध्यापका के विरुद्ध कार्यवाही कर दी है.
Similarly, a teacher was suspended in Uttar Pradesh Hardoi district few days earlier after a video of her getting massage from students went viral. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
After his convocation address in Anna University, PM went to multiple classrooms to meet graduating students who could not be present at the main venue due to space constraints. Here is the full story.
My best wishes are with you. My best wishes are with you. Enjoy. My best wishes are with you. My best wishes are with you.
Amity University has India's largest scholarship program, from which over 25,000 brilliant students have already benefited. Students with over 95% in Class 12 boards get 100% scholarship, and students with over 90% get 50% scholarship. Join brilliant, like-minded students who want to be successful. Apply at amity.edu/scholarships.
In a fatal accident, a class 9 student lost his life and several were injured as a school bus and a speeding truck collided in Punjab's Hoshiarpur. Congress MP Dipender Singh Hooda given a suspension of business notice in Rajya Sabha over Centre's Agnipath recruitment scheme in the Monsoon session of Parliament.
उसमें आग लगी हुई है और आंदोलनकारी इस तरीके से
और कश्मीरी
Amid the tension between China and the United States with regards to Taiwan, China rejected a US bill to encourage more semiconductor companies to build chip plants in the US. China cited containment of restrictions from China-US cooperation in science and technology. US President Joe Biden and China Xi Jinping spent more than 2 hours talking through the future of their complicated relationship. Chinese Foreign Ministry reportedly warned United States President Joe Biden against playing with fire over Taiwan. China also blamed US unilateral sanctions and tariff barriers which affected the security of global supply of energy and food. This comes in the backdrop of US Speaker of the House announcing her trip to Taiwan.
I think that it's important for us to show support for Taiwan. I also think that none of us has ever said we're for independence when it comes to Taiwan. That's up to Taiwan.
उसमें आग लगी हुई है और आंदोलनकारी इस तरीके से
और कश्मीरी
Big trouble for Khera and company after Smriti's solid legal notice. Congress top brass summoned by Delhi court. No room for shoot and scoot for Congress anymore. Delhi High Court tells Pawan Khera and Jairam to remove the content. After shameful sexism, Congress tries to brazen it out now. Defends abuse of power in an even shocking justification. It's insult and abuse galore by Congress, and clocking is ticking right now. The clock keeps ticking, but Sonia Gandhi is yet to act against the sexist Neta. Tensions simmer in Mangaluru as another person is killed. Section 144 imposed until Saturday. Stunning twist in the Bengal cash scam after mega cash hauls. Arpita's cars go missing, bank accounts seized. Viewers, we continue to be live and breaking on Republic TV. I am Shivangi Shakla, and the Bengal cash scam keeps exploding. We get you all the details. Right now, what we have learned that Partho Chatterjee, while entering the ESI, said, "I'm a victim of conspiracy." Following the medical, he has now claimed that Mamta's decision was right. This is dramatic scenes unfolding in Calcutta, viewers. Partho Chatterjee crying foul and saying that I'm a victim of conspiracy. And the medical is over. This is after the medical that he has said this. And he's also said that Mamta's decision was right. Now remember that Mamta Banerjee and the TMC has suspended him from the party. They have removed him from all the important portfolios that he was holding. And a reaction coming in from Partho itself. Remember, we're getting you all the top updates here. Partho continues saying, I'm a victim of conspiracy. That is his stance. On the other side, we are seeing that Arpita Mukherjee has claimed to be unwell. Those are the exclusive visuals of Arpita. who in fact had almost fallen down. She had to be picked up. As you can see on your screen, she had to be picked up. She had to be taken for a medical, and her medical is right now over. Now the interrogation will continue, not just for Arpita but also for Partho Chatterjee, who also had his medical just a short while back. So these are the details that are coming in from the Bengal cash scam. Sensational twist coming in this case, viewers. Sensational twist coming in this case, where we also learned just a short while back that some luxury cars were also missing from Arpita's residence.
दादा सामने ना छोड़ा यार बात तो दा दादा सामने ना छोड़ा यार बात तो दा
All right, we just heard that soundbite of Partho, where he is being carried there almost on a wheelchair after his medical, where he is saying, I'm a victim of conspiracy, and also saying that Mamta's decision was right. So at one point he's saying that Mamta's decision was right. On the other hand, he's also saying he's a victim of conspiracy. So it's a very, very interesting development coming in. Piyush Ori will take us to the details. Piyush, what are we seeing right now? A reaction coming in from Partho after he was removed from the important party post and also suspended from the party, where he's saying Mamta was right. But at the same time, he's also saying that I'm a victim of conspiracy.
So you rightly pointed out, Shivangi, that, Partho now is trying to play his political cards. At one point of time, he's saying that, all this is a conspiracy by his political rivals to defame him and to get him out of the politics. And on the other hand, now, after getting his medical examination done, he's saying that what Mamata Banerjee, as the party head of TMC, did of removing him from all the cabinet berths was right. Now, let us just understand the importance of this statement which has been made by Partho Chatterjee. Partho Chatterjee understands that, at the moment, he's completely on the back foot with the kind of, massive cash that has been unearthed by Enforcement Directorate. And he understands that, from all this mess which he's got himself into, it is only going to be the support of Trinamool Congress which is going to get him away from all this. So he is trying to make sure that he does not try to make TMC, angry, which, mind you, has completely distanced itself from Partho Chatterjee, saying that, the circumstantial evidence as of now suggests that Partho Chatterjee as well as Arpita Mukherjee are, believed to be involved in this cash scam, and it is the onus now is completely on them to get themselves be innocent in this. So what you are seeing over here is that the TMC has distanced itself, but Partho Chatterjee is trying to play a political card by saying that, what has been done by TMC is right and he's going to stand by the decision. And on the other hand, he's saying that all this is a political conspiracy to defame him. Back to you in the studio, Shivangi.
But Piyush, I just want our viewers to have a look at what they're seeing in their screen. Now he's saying that he's a victim of conspiracy, and after he's saying that Mamta was right. Two different things being said in a way, because Mamta had clearly said that if anyone is found guilty of corruption, they will be severely punished. That's a statement which had come from her after a long time. She was silent. Then she finally said that they will be punished. And soon enough, we saw a decision coming in from the TMC leadership where he was removed from the party post and suspended as well. Piyush, earlier in the day, just take us through what has been happening, because today we have seen a lot of high drama unfold coming in this Bengal cash scam. Piyush, take us through what happened earlier in the day.
Scam has, occurred. There has been a lot of drama which we have witnessed, Earlier, to begin with, Partho Chatterjee had said that, he's physically unwell and he should not be, subjected to the intense questioning by the Enforcement Directorate. He then went to the state-run hospitals for the treatment, on which, the Enforcement Directorate officials contested this decision, and they went to the court saying that he should be rather treated in the central-run hospitals so that the medical reports are not fudged. The Enforcement Directorate in this case was successful in getting not only the custody but also getting the medical examination of Partho Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee be tested in the central run hospitals. From there on, the situation became even worse for Partho Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee, with Enforcement Directorate, conducting raids at Arpita Mukherjee's residence, and from there finding massive amounts of cash, that surprised all the all our viewers, who were seeing the amounts of cash that was unearthed from the houses of Arpita Mukherjee. And today, when Arpita Mukherjee and Partho Chatterjee were being taken to medical examination, we saw very dramatic visuals of how Arpita Mukherjee, reportedly said that she was feeling unwell. She looked weak. She looked mentally very pressured. And, you could see our reporters constantly asking her about, where what were these assets? What were the source of these assets? Was she mentally pressured? Was she really involved in this scam, which has, rocked the political scenario of Bengal? So you can see from the time this scam has occurred, there is a lot of drama which we are seeing, and this drama is only expected to continue, with more can of worms now expected to come out. Back to you in the studio, Shivangi.
Right, and Niranjan is also joining us. Niranjan, this cash scam is exploding and multiple layers coming out of this scam. Niranjan, over to you.
Thank you for that. In fact, before we stay on the Bengal story, there's some breaking news update that's now coming in the story of Praveen Netaru, who was murdered in Karnataka. I'm going straight to that story right now. There's been a development. An NIA investigation has been ordered. I'm going straight to that breaking news story right now. The state government in Karnataka has ordered an NIA investigation they want an NIA investigation into the murder of Praveen Netaru, who was killed, who was murdered a few days back, over which PFI and SDPI activists have also been arrested. That's the big breaking news story right now. NIA probe ordered into Karnataka. Hate killing. That's a confirmation that's now coming in, and I'm going across and let's get some reactions first up to the story, because this is a big breaking news development we are hearing. In fact, one of the demands of ministers included, MPs included, has been that the investigation should be handed over to the NIA, given the complexities and given the role of radical groups in this particular case. And recently, Shobha Karanlaje, Union Minister and MP from Karnataka, had also written to the Karnataka government asking for an NIA investigation into the case. And the NIA is now, in all probability, going to take over the case right now, because the state government wanted the case handed to the NIA. That's the big breaking news update, and that's now coming in. And we'll try and get some reactions to it, please. And you had some responses coming into the story. The police has gone on record several times to say that they're looking at alleged PFI and SDPI links. Let's play out the sound bites of the police, the investigators, and tell you what's going on in Karnataka. That's Fazil. That is Fazil, who was killed in Mangaluru. But this is the case of Praveen Netaru. This is a case of Praveen Netaru, and let's show the pictures of Praveen Netaru. We are hearing that the NIA probe has been recommended. That was Fazil, who was killed in Mangaluru last night. The CCTV footage also emerged. Now in the Praveen case, in the Praveen Netaru case, getting in breaking news now that the state government in Karnataka has handed over the investigation to the NIA. They want the NIA investigation to take place. In fact, the Karnataka Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai also spoke. We'll play out what Basavaraj Bommai also said in just a few seconds. But this comes as a big development in the case. The Karnataka government, we are told, has recommended an NIA investigation into the killing of Praveen Netaru. This is a big breaking news update. The Chief Minister's office in Karnataka confirming that they're going to hand over the case to the NIA. And it's going to be taken over by the NIA completely right now. Let's play out some of the responses we've been getting. We've been reporting live from Dakshina Kannada through the day. Here's what the Chief Minister said earlier.
Yesterday I was there in Mangalore. I visited Praveen's house, and while coming back after I took the flight, I heard there was another murder. I got all the details. I've instructed ADGP Law and Order to stay there and see that prompt action is taken. For us, all incidents are equal, all murders, all life of the people are same to us. So we want to take strict actions on all the three cases. I will not explain anything now. As and when required, whatever is necessary within the frame of law, we will do all actions. It might be UP model or Karnataka model.
That was the Karnataka Chief Minister who spoke to Republic TV some time back. And we also had the police in Karnataka go on record and talk about the investigation. Let's play out some of the responses of the police as well. In this particular case, the police has gone on record to say that they're looking at the PFI and the SDPI links. And the wife of one of the suspects who's been arrested has confirmed that her husband who was arrested was from the PFI and SDPI. Praveen Netaru's alleged murderers have a PFI and SDPI case, and the confirmation has come in now from the Chief Minister's office that they are going to hand over the case to the NIA. And this is a big breaking news update right now. We'll go across to Abhishek, Aishwarya and our teams on what this could now mean, because there's been a lot of tension in the South Kannada districts in the coastal Karnataka region after the murder of Praveen Netaru. In fact, there was a murder. There was another murder yesterday which the Congress claims was revenge. This is, by the way, one of the accused. On your screen is one of the accused of Praveen Netaru's murder. We'll show you the pictures of Praveen Netaru as well. And the story is getting bigger and bigger, because the Congress party claims that the youth who was killed yesterday was killed because of revenge of what happened in the case of Praveen Netaru. And the big update right now coming in that the Chief Minister of Karnataka has confirmed that the case will be handed over to the NIA. Here's what Bommai said after meeting the family yesterday. Let's play out the bite once again.
I visited Praveen's house, and while coming back after I took the flight, I heard there was another murder. I got all the details. I've instructed ADGP Law and Order to stay there and see that prompt action is taken. For us, all incidents are equal, all murders, all life of the people are same to us. So we want to take strict actions on all the three cases. I will not explain anything now. As and when required, whatever is necessary within the frame of law, we will do all actions. It might be UP model or Karnataka model.
Breaking news update now coming in. Now, the Karnataka government has ordered an NIA investigation into the murder of Praveen Netaru. That's the CCTV footage, in fact, that emerged earlier that showed the alleged killers running from the site. At least 7 of them seen running after the murder of Praveen Netaru in this particular video. And now the police has, the Karnataka government has handed over the investigation to the NIA. This is a big investigation, big update that's now come in. And we are hearing now that the NIA will now take over. Let's get in some more reactions to the story. This is a big update because the BJP and some of the BJP leaders and union ministers included had written to the Home Minister. Okay, I think we have MB Patil of the Congress. Mr. Patil, can you hear me? Good afternoon, sir. Can you hear me? Mr. Patil, good afternoon. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, we are hearing that this investigation of Praveen Netaru's murder has been handed over to the NIA. Can I get your reaction on that, Mr. Patil?
See, actually, nobody is above law. See, those culprits who are there, they have to be stringently punished, and such incidents should not happen in future. Karnataka is a peace-loving state, So here, whatever has happened, there is a failure on behalf of the BJP government, particularly the Home Minister. The Home Minister has been in previous cases also totally an ineffective person over here. So whatever as per law, whatever decision, let there be an inquiry, even by NIA or whatever agency, not only in this case. Wherever such incidents happen, in all the cases, irrespective of caste, creed and religion, they have to take action on those people.
Thank you for that. I have Mr. Kumaraswamy, H.D. Kumaraswamy, former Karnataka Chief Minister, also joining us on the phone line. Mr. Kumaraswamy, good afternoon. We are hearing that the case has been transferred to the NIA, the killing of Praveen Netaru. That was MB Patil. Let me go across to H.D. Kumaraswamy. Mr. Kumaraswamy, can you hear me?
Please, I'm hearing you.
Sir, can I get your response, Mr. Kumaraswamy? Getting in news now that the case has been transferred to the NIA, Praveen Netaru case.
That is a different issue. Handing over to the NIA to inquiry, that is different issue. Here, the people concerned, the Karnataka people concerned, whatever the future of the state in Karnataka regarding this issue, because from last 15 years, several murders took place because of this communal riot. How they will going to stop it? Handing over to the NIA, that is different issue. Now the present government, they have actually transferred the responsibility to inquire about this incident to NIA. That is okay. I am not opposing it. But problem, even after handing over to NIA, how this government will going to protect other younger generation, other common people here? That is the main issue. That message this government has to give it to the Karnataka citizen. There is no confidence in this government about to take the confidence of the people and give confidence to the people. There is no message to the state now. This is the problem here. Our concern is that.
Yeah, but there is a reported role of the SDPI and PFI which has come to light. One of the accused who's been arrested, his wife has also admitted that her husband was linked to PFI, SDPI. Now with all these groups, the role of these groups emerging, don't you think it's a bigger problem, Mr. Kumaraswamy?
Right. SDPI or PFI, whoever persons here in these issues are involved, you take action. That is different issue. Problem yesterday evening also, when Chief Minister was in Mangalore, another murder took place. This Chief Minister has not reacted to that. He has not visited that place also. His government is only for one particular community or to save the interest of all six people. What message has given yesterday visiting Mangalore, this Chief Minister or his Home Minister?
Yeah. But I think there have been on-record comments as well from because Mr. Kumaraswamy, there is one problem, I'll tell you, because in this particular case of the murder last night in Mangaluru, in Surathkal, there is no proof of yet as of now there is no proof of any communal radical angle in it. Is there? So far there is no proof, right?
That is okay. That's okay. Here, what is the proof? Other issues, what is the proof? That Monsoon has murdered. What decision they have taken? Here, this yesterday evening issue, there is no proof in the present government. That I will agree. But yesterday, after that murder, from several channels, they have shown that this boy was connected with some love affair. Who spread that news? Which corner that news has spread in the newspaper yesterday, some channel?
Yes.
They have already decided, this government.
Right. Let's see where the story goes, Mr. Kumaraswamy. Yeah, we'll follow the investigation. Yeah. No, I was saying that we'll follow the investigation. Let's see where the story goes. Thank you for speaking to Republic TV. I have to take a short break now. That is H.D. Kumaraswamy, former Chief Minister of Karnataka, speaking to Republic TV on the development that the Karnataka state government has handed over the investigation to the NIA. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Stay tuned.
Amity University has India's largest scholarship program, from which over 25 1,000 brilliant students have already benefited. Students with over 95% in Class 12 boards get 100% scholarship. And students with over 90% get 50% scholarship. Join brilliant like-minded students who want to be successful. Apply at amity.edu/scholarships.
Congress MP K. Suresh gives adjournment motion notice in Lok Sabha over war of words which unfolded between Union Minister Smriti Irani and Sonia Gandhi. Congress MP alleges that shocking attempts were made by BJP MPs, including Union Minister Smriti Irani, to threaten Sonia Gandhi. Amid flash floods in Himachal Pradesh, a link road was washed away in Kaza district. An estimated loss of 15 lakh rupees has been incurred, and the Karnataka State Disaster Management Authority has urged the district administration to take stock of the situation.
In a bizarre incident, watch students of primary school in Uttar Pradesh Baldio area making a bridge of chairs for teachers to enter the waterlogged school. This is yet another incident which went viral of teachers allegedly involved in a bizarre incident. Visuals show students drenched in knee-deep water making pathway for teachers by placing chairs in a row. Soon after the video went viral, the teachers were suspended.
उक्त वीडियो का हमने संज्ञान लिया है, उच्च अधिकारियों के भी संज्ञान में उक्त वीडियो है और हमने अध्यापका के विरुद्ध कार्यवाही कर दी है.
Similarly, a teacher was suspended in Uttar Pradesh Hardoi district few days earlier after a video of her getting massage from students went viral. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Wherever you are, whenever you want, Republic live stream with you everywhere. Republic live stream, India's #1 streaming news.
India's Super News Network. Republic Media Network's #1 super feed. #1 across all 3 channels.
In a fatal accident, a class 9 student lost his life and several were injured as a school bus and a speeding truck collided in Punjab's Hoshiarpur. Congress MP Dipender Singh Hooda given a suspension of business notice in Rajya Sabha over Centre's Agnipath recruitment scheme in the monsoon session of Parliament.
उसमें आग लगी हुई है और आंदोलनकारी इस तरीके से
और कश्मीरी
Amid the tension between China and the United States with regards to Taiwan, China rejected a US bill to encourage more semiconductor companies to build chip plants in the US. China cited containment of restrictions from China-US cooperation.
In fact, Karnataka Chief Minister has confirmed that the NIA will take over the case. Right now, the Karnataka Chief Minister has confirmed. In fact, there's a soundbite coming. Let's play the soundbite and I'll translate over it.
ಹಲವಾರು ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ವೇಕೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ, ತುಂಬುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಕ್ರಮ ತೆಗೆದುಕೋಬೇಕು ಮತ್ತು KSRP ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಬೆಟಾಲಿಯನನ್ನು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಕನ್ನಡಕ್ಕೆ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಈ ಥರ ಹಲವಾರು ಕ್ರಮ ಮತ್ತು ರಾತ್ರಿ ಗಸ್ತನ್ನು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ಕ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನು ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಮತ್ತು ನಾನು DGIG ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆಲ್ಲ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಈಗ ಪ್ರವೀಣ್ನ ಹತ್ಯೆ ಕೇಸು ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗಿ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸ್ಡ್ ಕ್ರೈಮು ಮತ್ತು ಅಂತಾರಾಜ್ಯ.
So they're saying that saying that he's asked police officers to get the full details, and after getting the report, they've decided to give the case to the NIA, and saying the Home Department will given the formal communication, and the orders have gone through the Home Department. It's a national issue, and they've decided that the NIA investigation would be the best way forward. The Praveen murder case will be handed over to the NIA.
ಇದನ್ನು NIA ಕೊಡಬೇಕಂತ ನಾವು ತೀರ್ಮಾನವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಹೋಮ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟು ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರ ಸೂಚನೆಯನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂತಾರಾಜ್ಯ.
We'll take a short break and come back with more details of the case. We're tracking closely from Karnataka as the government there hands over the Praveen Netaru murder case to the NIA. We're getting in more breaking news updates and the big reactions from Karnataka.
In a fatal accident, a class 9 student lost his life and several were injured as a school bus and a speeding truck collided in Punjab's Hoshiarpur. Congress MP Dipender Singh Hooda given a suspension of business notice in Rajya Sabha over Centre's Agnipath recruitment scheme in the Monsoon session of Parliament.
उसमें आग लगी हुई है और आंदोलनकारी इस तरीके से
और कश्मीरी
Amid the tension between China and the United States with regards to Taiwan, China rejected a US bill to encourage more semiconductor companies to build chip plants in the US. China cited containment of restrictions from China-US cooperation in science and technology. US President Joe Biden and China Xi Jinping spent more than 2 hours talking through the future of their complicated relationship. Chinese Foreign Ministry reportedly warned United States President Joe Biden against playing with fire over Taiwan. China also blamed US unilateral sanctions and tariff barriers which affected the security of global supply of energy and food. This comes in the backdrop of US Speaker of the House announcing her trip to Taiwan.
I think that it's important for us to show support for Taiwan. I also think that none of us has ever said we're for independence when it comes to Taiwan. That's up to Taiwan to decide.
Hitting back at Nancy Pelosi, China firmly opposed to the planned visit to Taiwan. China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson said that the Chinese military will never sit idle and will take serious measures to thwart any attempts by external forces to interfere and separate Taiwan. In the midst of tension, soldiers participated in live-fire military drills amid escalating tensions with China in Taiwan. The military drills have been running every year since 1984 and aim to
Let's get started with Superfast 50 now, viewers. The High Court also directed the Congress leaders to remove the post, videos, tweets, retweets and morphed pictures of the plaintiff and her daughter along with the allegations within 24 hours and to stop their recirculation of allegations made against her and her daughter. Delhi High Court issued a summons to Congress leaders Jairam Ramesh and Pawan Khera Netta D'Souza in civil suit filed by Union Minister Smriti Irani. Leaders had earlier alleged that the Smriti Irani's daughter was running an illegal bar in Goa, following which the minister demanded an unconditional written apology and withdrawal of the allegations immediately, following which she issued a legal notice to the same. The Delhi High Court issued summons to senior Congress leader Jairam Ramesh and Pawan Khera in a case filed by Union Minister over defamatory content posted by them. The next hearing has been scheduled for August 18th. The High Court also directed the Congress leaders to remove the post, videos, tweets, retweets and morphed pictures of the plaintiff and her daughter along with the allegations within 24 hours. The court also said in the case the defendants failed to comply with the directions within 24 hours, social media platforms Twitter, Facebook and YouTube shall take down the material. After the Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary's Rashtrapatni remark, ministers of the Union Cabinet were seen meeting the President at the Rashtrapati Bhavan as an official apology from the Congress was awaited. The Congress, meanwhile, protested against Union Minister Smriti Irani in Jammu, calling the BJP's attack on the Congress in the Parliament. In development on OPS and EPS dispute case in the AIADMK party, no relief to OPS currently from the Supreme Court. A top court refused to stay the July 11th General Assembly's decision to expel OPS from the party. However, the Supreme Court ordered to maintain the status quo in the matter from today till the High Court is heard. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court sent the matter to Madras High Court to decide the matter afresh in 3 weeks. In another case of a gruesome murder reported from Karnataka, youth was stabbed to death by unidentified people in Karnataka. Meanwhile, police is investigating the matter. Congress MLA Mohiuddin Baba, in an exclusive conversation with Republic, confronted on the gruesome murder of a youth in Karnataka. Now, the Congress MLA questioned the government's law and order in the state and asked them to be neutral.
Sad news. In the course of 8 days, 3 murders, that is youngsters. How to answer, I don't know. Really, what government is doing, that is what I am asking. See, within 5 kilometer range, CM's movement is there. The murder is happening.
PM Modi, while addressing the students at the Anna University in Chennai, said that the reforms in drone, space and geospatial sectors are opening up new avenues and further congratulated the students on getting their degrees.
Friends, we are graduating in unique times. Some will call it a time of global uncertainty, but I would call it a time of great opportunity.
The Kolkata High Court has ordered that Partho and Arpita to undergo a medical examination within 48 hours and taken to the Joka ESI hospital. Partho allegedly said that he is a victim of conspiracy. While Partho leaves after his medical checkup, Arpita is still admitted in the hospital as she had fallen down when she was forcefully dragged out of the car as she did not want to leave. It has come to notice that 4 cars have been missing from Arpita Mukherjee's Tollygunge flat, though ED has recovered 1 car out of the 5 cars. The remaining 4 cars are still missing. ED is searching for the numbers of these cars and they are checking the CCTV footage of Arpita Mukherjee's flat situated in the Karunamoyi area in Kolkata. The Rajya Sabha was adjourned once again, and this time it has been adjourned till August as the opposition created a ruckus in the House. The adjournment was announced as the Speaker asked the leader to take their seats for the question hour. Once again, another Congress leader defends insult of the President. This time, Congress MP Raj Patel said it was a slip of tongue and there is no reason for Congress interim President Sonia Gandhi to apologize.
ये एक मानवीय प्रवृत्ति होती है, बड़े बड़े लोग होते हैं, सबसे माने बात करते समय में जवान स्लिप हो जाती है, तो ये कोई इरादा कोई ऐसा उनका नहीं था। चर्चा के दौरान जो है बात स्लिप हो गई और जिसके लिए उन्होंने माफ़ी मांग लिया और उन्होंने दिया कि राष्ट्रपति से भी मिल करके हम उनसे व्यक्तिगत रूप से माफ़ी मांगेंगे।
BJP MP Nishikant Dubey hits back at Congress, stating that the Congress has said such pathetic things about President Murmu and asserted that instead of apologizing, they are defending it.
ये कांग्रेस का लोकतंत्र है। आज उन्होंने राष्ट्रपति महोदया के बारे में इतनी घटिया बातें कह दी, माफी मांगने के बदले वो लड़ाई पर उतारू, क्योंकि एक गरीब महिला आदिवासी को देखना नहीं चाहते। उसी तरह से आपको पता है कि माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी जब से प्रधानमंत्री बने हैं, चूंकि वो छोटे परिवार से आते हैं, चाय बेचते थे, चाय बेचते हुए देश के प्रधानमंत्री बन गए, तो उसको वो पचा नहीं पा रहे हैं। ये दोनों चीजें ऐसी है जो कांग्रेस की मानसिकता दिखाती है। इसको लोकतंत्र पर कोई विश्वास नहीं है। आपका अध्यक्ष अध्यक्ष, मेरा अध्यक्ष अध्यक्ष नहीं।
Amit, several reactions coming in after President Droupadi Murmu's insult by Congress Party. BJP Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi demanded an apology from Sonia Gandhi.
कैंडिडेचर अनाउंस हुआ था, तब भी
कांग्रेस पार्टी की तरफ से बहुत बुरा बयान आया था। ये सब लेते हुए कांग्रेस और विशेषतः अधीर रंजन का देखते हुए सोनिया गांधी जी माफ़ी मांगना चाहिए। ये तो इसमें कोई अगर नहीं मांगते हैं तो वो उनका विवेचन कैसा है, उनका थॉट कैसा है, वो पता चलता है।
Minister of Law and Justice Kiran Rijiju reacting on the escalating controversy of Congress' shameful remark on President Murmu said that this is not a case of slip of tongue, and Congress MP Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary said Rashtrapatni twice.
इस तरह का हल्का टिप्पणी करके राष्ट्रपति का गरिमा को जो उन्होंने चोट पहुंचाया है, उसके लिए सिर्फ अधीर रंजन चौधरी नहीं, पूरे कांग्रेस पार्टी, उनके प्रेसिडेंट श्रीमती सोनिया गांधी जी, पूरा देश को माफी मांगना चाहिए।
Congress leader VC Venugopal reacting on the controversy said that PM Modi and Union Minister Smriti Irani should apologize instead of Sonia Gandhi.
They are doing demonstration here. Speaker banned everything outside, but BJP can do anything. They themselves is shouting in the parliament, both the house. Therefore, it is a duty of them. We need an apology from Smriti Irani and Prime Minister.
Congress leader Gaurav Gogai reacted, saying that attempts have been made to avoid discussion in the Parliament House. Congress leader further said that no caution is taken when wrong behavior is showcased towards Sonia Gandhi.
देश को आज फर्क पता चल गया है कि अधीर रंजन चौधरी कांग्रेस पार्टी राष्ट्रपति के प्रति सम्मान जताते हुए क्षमा मांगते हैं, लेकिन भाजपा आज भी सोनिया गांधी जी के प्रति जो अमानवीय व्यवहार कल हुआ उसके प्रति क्षमा नहीं मांगना चाहती और बस शोषण करना चाहती है विपक्ष का, विशेष रूप से सोनिया गांधी जी का। लेकिन वो भूल चुके हैं कि सोनिया गांधी जी एक निडर नेत्री है।
Reacting on the escalating controversy on Congress's sexist remark on President Droupadi Murmu, BJP MP Manoj Tiwari said that Congress party needs to understand the real meaning of apology.
इस शब्द का अर्थ समझने का जो उन्होंने बोला है, अगर इतनी क्षमता होती, इस केस में माफी मांगने का जो अच्छा मैसेज जाता, अगर ये समझने की क्षमता होती कांग्रेस में और सोनिया गांधी जी में और अधीर रंजन चौधरी जैसे लोगों में, तो फिर ये बात सामान्य हो जाती कल ही।
Addressing a press conference, BJP national spokesperson Shahzad Poonawala has slammed Aam Aadmi Party's new excise policy. Said that Delhi CM Arvind Kejriwal has not given clear water and ration cards to people, but has bought liquor to their houses.
हम लोग तो घर घर मोहल्ले मोहल्ले तक नल से जल पहुंचाते, ये लोग मोहल्ले मोहल्ले तक नशा पहुंचाना चाहते थे, तो डिस्काउंट दे दिया, पीने की उम्र घटा दी, ड्राई डेज कम कर दिए, ताकि दिल्ली नशा मुक्त नहीं नशा युक्त हो जाए। साफ पानी पहुंचे ना पहुंचे, आपके घर और मोहल्ले तक, चाहे वो मंदिर हो, मस्जिद हो, स्कूल हो, RWA का कोई संस्थान हो, वहां तक नशा दारू जरूर पहुंचे और उन दारू माफिया को पूरा संरक्षण केजरीवाल जी ने दिया।
It's day 3 of the protest by opposition party after a total of 27 MPs, including 23 Rajya Sabha MPs and 4 Lok Sabha MPs, have been suspended for unruly behavior during the ongoing monsoon session of Parliament. Sanjay Singh, being one of them, stated that he was removed from the session after he raised the Gujarat Hooch tragedy.
मैं अपने सारी बीजेपी के मित्रों से ये कहना चाहता हूं कि ऐसे ही खुले आसमान में मच्छरों से अपने आप को कटवा कर वो भी इस पिकनिक में शामिल हों।
A session court in Ahmedabad deferred till Friday its order on the bail application of activist Teesta Setalwar and former DGP R.B. Srikumar in a case of allegedly fabricating evidence in the 2002 riots case. The Court of Additional Principal Judge was scheduled to pronounce the order on Thursday but deferred it till today. India and Russia held a wide-ranging discussion on issues on the UN Security Council agenda and agreed to deepen cooperation on counter-terrorism at the UN and other multilateral platforms. According to the Ministry of External Affairs, Sanjay Verma, Secretary Ministry of External Affairs, led the Indian delegation for consultations on the United Nations-related issues with Russian Foreign Ministry. According to the MEA statement, both sides held wide-ranging discussions on issues on the UN Security Council agenda and recent developments as well. The Enforcement Directorate summoned West Bengal Minister Partha Chatterjee and his personal secretary Sukanto Acharya for a fresh questioning today at the agency's headquarters in Kolkata. This comes a day after ED recovered cash of over 27 crore rupees from Arpita Mukherjee's residence during an overnight raid. BJP leader Amit on SSC recruitment scam questioned West Bengal CM Mamata Banerjee's delay in removing Partha Chatterjee. Further, BJP leader allegedly called Mamata a kingpin of the scam.
से अधिक नगद राशि, तमाम प्रॉपर्टी के पेपर्स, सोने, जवाहरात और फॉरेन एक्सचेंज मिला। ऐसे में पार्था चैटर्जी का कैबिनेट में रह पाना असंभव था और ममता बनर्जी को उनको सैक करना पड़ा। लेकिन ममता बनर्जी के ही कैबिनेट में मिनिस्टर ऑफ स्टेट फॉर एजुकेशन परेश अधिकारी आज भी बने हुए हैं।
The Kerala High Court is likely to hear a plea seeking a standard protocol for conducting examinations across the country after the incident where female candidates were made to remove part of their undergarments in order to appear for the test at NEET exam center in the state. The PIL also seeks a direction on the National Testing Agency to permit affected female candidates to reappear for the exam as they might not have been able to focus on the test that day in view of the traumatic situation. An Indigo flight headed to Kolkata went off the runway as it took off at the Jorhat airport in Assam. While taxiing on the runway, the wheels of the aircraft suddenly skids off and get stuck in the swamp lining in the runway. Now, the officials stated that despite trying for 6 hours, they were unsuccessful to fix the technical glitch and the flight was eventually cancelled. The crew, however, quickly engaged to pacify the flyers and ensured none get hurt. The Jammu-Srinagar National Highway has been closed for vehicular traffic due to landslides and shooting stones at Jammu and Kashmir's Ramban district. Police officials have advised people not to travel along Jammu-Srinagar National Highway 44 without confirmation from Traffic Control Unit. According to district officials, the following heavy rain in Himachal Pradesh, Link Road washed away amid flash floods in the Kaza town, causing an estimated loss of 15 lakh rupees. To allow commuters to use the road, a district emergency operations center has also apprised the district administration of the incident of quick repair work. According to Union Health Ministry, India has now recorded over 20,000 new coronavirus infections since the last 24 hours. Pushing the tally of COVID-19 cases to over 4 crore, while the national COVID-19 recovery rate was recorded at 98.48%. As Jammu and Kashmir continues to receive heavy rainfall, Indian Army and police personnel in a joint rescue operation rescued 14 people stuck in the floods. A minor died and several were injured after the ground floor of the double-story house collapsed in Kerala. The minor was rushed to a hospital for immediate medical treatment, but later succumbed to his injuries. Police rescued several people who are trapped under the debris. Meanwhile, the reason of collapse is yet to be known. At least 30 kids were allegedly given the COVID-19 vaccine using a single syringe at a school in Sagar, Madhya Pradesh. Police officials announced that they had received a complaint and the district administration collected children's blood samples for the investigation.
कल जो सैंपलिंग हुई है उसमें सभी की रिपोर्ट नॉर्मल आई है। आज करीब 21 बच्चों की और सैंपलिंग की है, उनकी आज 5 बजे तक रिपोर्ट आ जाएगी। जो अभी कल बच्चों का जो परीक्षण किया था वो भी स्वस्थ है और अभी जो बच्चे आए हैं जिनकी सैंपलिंग की है वो भी स्वस्थ हैं, किसी को उस प्रकार की तकलीफ नहीं है। ये केवल ये सावधानी बस सैंपलिंग कर रहे हैं ताकि भविष्य में कोई उनके पेरेंट्स को दिक्कत ना हो।
In another incident which went viral from UP's Baldao district, students of a primary school were seen making a bridge of chairs for teachers to enter the waterlogged school. Soon after, the teachers were suspended after the video went viral.
वीडियो का हमने संज्ञान लिया है, उच्च अधिकारियों के भी संज्ञान में उक्त वीडियो है और हमने अध्यापका के विरुद्ध कार्यवाही कर दी है.
A deceased who is identified as a farmer was carried on a cot to the district hospital in Indore for post-mortem. According to the kin of the deceased, the ambulance could not enter the hospital campus as the new building area is under construction with no alternate route.
निर्माणाधीन है, जिला चिकित्सालय का कुछ बिल्डिंग मटेरियल वाला कुछ सामान आया था डंपर से, उससे हमारा एंट्रेंस के यहाँ पे थोड़ा रास्ता ख़राब हो गया था, उबड़ खाबड़ हो गया था, तो वाहन जाने में थोड़ी सी असुविधा थी, जिसको हमने सुबह 9 बजे दुरुस्त करा दिया था. उस दौरान एक डेड बॉडी आई थी, जिससे कि परिजन लोग अपनी खटिया पर जिला चिकित्सालय गेट से पीएम रूम तक ले गए.
In the Domana region of Jammu, a balloon with a GPS integration chip has been recovered. The suspected chip has been sent to the police for analysis. Sources report that the balloon has been used to recover the antenna companion module of the Trimble company, which is used for integration with GPS receiver to collect GPS data of the area. This is the same area where a drone dropped 3 IEDs on June 7th and where an army unit reportedly refused an IED on July 14th. An individual from Pakistan had been detained for breaking Indian immigration laws, was returned to his country via the Atari-Wagah border. According to the protocol officer, he was arrested without passport for entering India illegally, for which he was imprisoned for 16 years. Earlier this year, India has repatriated 4 Pakistani prisoners who had completed their imprisonment.
इसको वहाँ पे अरेस्ट किया गया. 2006 में इस पे एफआईआर दर्ज की गई कैंटोनमेंट लखनऊ कैंटोनमेंट थाना में. उसमें इसको 8 साल की सजा. इसके बाद जब ये रिलीज़ होने वाला था तभी इस पे एक और दोबारा एफआईआर 379, 353, 506, 504 आईपीसी की धारा लगा के दोबारा इसको 4.5 साल की सज़ा और अप्रॉक्सीमेट 16 साल की सज़ा काटने के उपरांत लखनऊ की पुलिस पार्टी आज को वहाँ से इसको लेके पहुँची है. इसके पेपर वर्क और डॉक्यूमेंट देखने के बाद इसको पाक रेंजर के हवाले किए जा रहे हैं.
Heavy monsoon rain has caused havoc and massive waterlogging in Jodhpur and has kept people imprisoned in their homes. The soldiers of the Army's 117 have taken the front to take the people out of this area and commence relief work for the people. Pope Francis celebrated Mass at Canada's National Shrine and came face to face with a long-standing demand from Indigenous people. Protesters displayed a banner at the altar of the National Shrine, rescind the doctrine in bright red and black letters.
Want me to heal? Tell the Pope to rescind this and tell the Queen, ask the Queen to come here and apologize, kiss my moccasins.
With less than 2 weeks left before the polls to elect the next president, election campaigning is all heated up in Kenya. Opinion polls show a tight race between Kenyan opposition leader Raila Odinga and current Deputy President William Ruto in the increasingly feisty fight to succeed President Uhuru Kenyatta.
His manifesto is also something that seems to have a lot of traction with a number of Kenyans. It is focused on what they call bottom-up economics, which seems to focus primarily on the lower echelons of the social pyramid. So seeking to uplift the conditions of the average Kenyan.
The China-Europe Railway coal as Shanghai Express departed from Shanghai Minhang Freight Station to reach its destination in Kazakhstan. This is the first export train of Central Asia line. The mayor of San Francisco announced a state of emergency over the growing number of monkeypox cases, allowing officials to fight a public health crisis and asserts that there is a desperate need of vaccination in the city as it had only received 7,800 doses even after requesting for 35,000.
here because we, as the city and county of San Francisco, officially are declaring a state of emergency for a public health crisis in San Francisco involving monkeypox.
According to White House, a telephonic conversation between President Joe Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping was very direct, where both the leaders kept their dialogue open and had a detailed discussion on areas where the two countries can work together, with particular focus on climate change and health security and counter narcotics.
Exchange views on Russia's war in Ukraine and the global impacts it is having. And then on Taiwan, President Biden underscored that the United States policy has not changed and that the United States strongly opposes unilateral efforts to change the status quo or undermine peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait.
Ahead of the Commonwealth Games opening ceremony in Birmingham, Prince Charles of Britain visited the athletes at the Athletes Village, where the participants are staying during the Games. He toured the main Athletes Village and posing for group photographs with teams, including other teams as well. According to Colombia's Vice President-elect Francia Marquez, President Gabriel Boric of Chile offered his nation as a location for a potential restart of negotiations between the Colombian government and the National Liberation Army militants. Marquez's statement was made during a feminist meeting with Afro-descendant women at the University of Chile in Santiago. French President Emmanuel Macron hosts Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The French opposition figures and the human rights groups have criticized Macron's decision to invite Salman to dinner at the Elysee Palace, who is believed to have given the order to murder Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi in the year 2018.
In federal district court under the Alien Tort Claims Act and the Torture Victims Prevention Act is about accountability. And the complaint we just filed in Paris today, something we have been preparing for 2 years, waiting for Mohammed bin Salman to step foot on French territory so that we could file the complaint, is about accountability.
The German national team trained at their Euro 2022 final team base for the first time ahead of Sunday's match against host England at London's Wembley Stadium. The last time England and Germany met in a Euros final was in the year 2009. The All-Star Andrew Benintendi was no longer visiting New York to play against the Yankees. He's now going to be playing for the Yankees. The former Royals and Boston Red Sox says standout reiterated his excitement about wearing stripes and playing for a team he once considered a rival.
Excited, obviously, to be here. Going to miss the guys I played with, obviously, in Kansas City. Made some really good friends, but looking forward to, helping this team out.
Tyler Murray declared that there have been no shortcuts to success during the football career after the NFL Network reported there was a unique addendum to his 5-year contract that mandates at least 4 hours of independent study, to which Murray defended his study habits.
Talking today because I feel it's necessary. With what's going on as far as regarding me and the things that are being said about me, it's almost, to think that I can accomplish everything that I've accomplished in my career and not be a student of the game and not have that passion and not take this serious is almost, it's disrespectful, and it's almost a joke,
And Manchester City are all set to face title rivals Liverpool in the Community Shield this Saturday. However, Reds boss Klopp has inferred that the game will not be a representation of what to expect from the upcoming season. Liverpool are expected to challenge Man City once again for the title this season.
It's very important because we played this final a couple of times, as others as well, and I think it would be nice if we could win it at one time. It's the last domestic cup competition we didn't win yet, and so we will give it a try.
live coverage on Republic TV as we report from outside Raj Thakre's residence. The Chief Minister of Maharashtra vacates his residence. Sena supporters coming out in large numbers showing their support to Uddhav Thackeray. The NCP huddle has begun. We're keeping a close track of all the senior leaders coming in and going out.
Amity University has India's largest scholarship program, from which over 25,000 brilliant students have already benefited. Students with over 95% in Class 12 boards get 100% scholarship, and students with over 90% get 50% scholarship. Join brilliant, like-minded students who want to be successful. Apply at amity.edu/scholarships.
Reading allows us to become familiar with ourselves.
We don't read, we won't know what